sign was given. It's in the way you move and in the sound of your heart. We tend to fall together, fall in love, and still in the end we'll fall apart. So his hope is that we stay close, but it's the life that we chose. It takes time to get it right, sleepless days and nights. We just need a little more, just a little time for you and I. So stay a bit longer, just a little time for you and I, until it's over, just a little time. I think that we got blinded, 'cause when it's good it's great, so we can't see we're fading away. So his hope is that we stay close, but it's the life that we chose. It takes time to get it right, sleepless days and nights. We just need a little more, just a little time for you and I. So stay a bit longer, just a little time for you and I, until it's over, just a little time. Just a little time.
I don't know for how long I'll get to hold your hand, to be your guiding light in the darkest of nights. I will try to do my best until the day that I'll die. I won't lie, it's not going to be easy, but I'll try. Don't you worry, I'm not going anywhere. I will stay here, I will stay here. And as long as my heart beats like a drum, then I won't back down. No, I won't back down. I know that we will fight and be too proud to say the other one was right. And one day you will leave and start your own family. I will try to do my best until the day that I die. I won't lie, it's not going to be easy, but I'll try. Don't you worry, I'm not going anywhere. I will stay here, I will stay here. And as long as my heart beats like a drum, then I won't back down. No, I won't back down. as long as my heart beats like a drum, then I won't back down. Don't you worry, I'm not going anywhere. I will stay here, I will stay here. And as long as my heart beats like a drum, then I won't back down. No, I won't back down.
It's time for the Mixin and Chillin vlog. Even if they implemented some ridiculous laws, this is something that if somebody truly wants to do this, they can still do it. But it's going to take a lot of effort on the Vapers part to actually learn what it takes to make your own stuff. I don't know what the heck happened to the last hour of my life, but it certainly wasn't streamed on YouTube like I thought it was. Restrictive policies block progress towards smoke-free world. Many people incorrectly think that very little nicotine content cigarettes are less carcinogenic than current cigarettes. This risk misperception by people who smoke could reduce motivation to quit under a nicotine reduction policy.
That's a bit of a problem. Someone who specialises in helping people kick the habit is Dr. Colin Mendelsohn. He joins me now.
Look, vaping is a far less harmful alternative to smoking for adult smokers who just can't quit, and that's actually the majority of them.
The road to quitting smoking is paved with candy. Double chocolate clear from TFA. Published in the Vaping Post, we have long-term study. Vaping increases odds of quitting heavy smoking. This is Kenny Thompson, the Vaping Heed. He's got a YouTube channel. He's been on here a lot longer than I have. I'm not going to stop until this is legal and available for everyone. You know, I cover things from all around the globe, but that's because science has no boundaries.
I mean, you know, the FDA and everything would know that vaping is safer than smoking, but they'll have the pressure off the tobacco companies or the states that are on the MSA and all that. It's just a financial thing, and it's, unfortunately that takes precedence against everything. And
All of the things we went through. You just made my day. Just made my day. You made my day. You made my day.
Grab your juice, grab your vape, it's time to get this party started.
It's time for the Mixin and Chillin vlog.
Long-term study.
vaping is safer than smoking.
Smoke-free world. Hello and welcome, everyone. Yes, you can tell, tweaking the intro, trying to get everything polished. I finally think I've got the gremlins chased out of OBS. This whole time this thing's been running for over an hour now, and we're up to only 3 skipped frames. So I think we finally got the issue narrowed down and boiled out.
Hallelujah.
So we can have a beautiful stream today. Hope you guys are all having a fantastic day. I want to start off first off by thanking Sean Lynch for the 10-pound super chat. That is awesome. Very much appreciated. #1 fan. Thank you, sir. And I'd like to say hello to everyone out there. We've got Sean Lynch. We've got Mrs. Hunky Vape. Vaping Heat even chatted before the stream today. Pam Spraggins, you were the first one in. Dusty Country Road. Thank you very much, all of you, for attending today.
Awesome.
Today is going to be, we got a bunch of stuff to do. And since the last couple of weeks, we've been working so much on the builds that, we don't really do a whole lot of mixing. I figured, I only bring out one thing today for us to take a look at retro vape wise. And speaking of retro vape, Well, there you go. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, somebody decided that they were going to put a YIHI board into a mod, and it's called the Vsticking VK530 mod. And with this mod, they also released a tank, a nice mesh tank for it, the VMesh Tank. So that's up on the agenda for today. And like I was talking about last week, we also have Ecto Cooler. Lasto Cooler. I don't even know what it's actually called. Can you read that label?
What the hell is that? Holy moly.
This is made by Voodoo Brewing Company. Okay.
Very odd one.
I know. And this is a malt beverage with natural and artificial flavors. I don't even know exactly what it is. We'll get to that in a second here.
I think you should do another bumper for retro drinks, because some of the stuff you're finding I've never even seen.
This just came out. Voodoo Brewing Company actually just opened up a little brewery in town here. Oh, and my wife just mentioned, just got a little notification. Could you turn your microphone up a little bit more?
Me?
Yeah, I had him turn the microphone down because last week he was much louder than I was. And I went to do the editing for the replay thing. I'm like, I can't do this because he was clipping halfway through the show. His levels were so loud.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What's that like? Hallelujah. 1, 2,
I think
3,
that sounds
4,
pretty
5.
good.
Yep. I hope everybody can hear us and chat all right. Yep.
Fantastic. Now I just need to go into, I know what else is different. I did not even think about this.
Thank you, Mr.
Perfect. So that's what we got lined up for us today. And obviously we're going to do some mixing and some chilling because I pulled out the Queen Juice from season 1, episode 2. This has been sitting around. I'll load it up in here.
Well, funny you should mention that, because I have just recently pulled out the King.
That's fantastic.
The King, and it's quite nice now, actually. It's looking really good. Well, there you go.
Look at the prints.
Oh,
I finally delved back into that thing.
Mine's well gone.
I almost finished this off. And then I said, you know what? I need something different. So I put this Queen in there. And one tank later, I mean, that's all I was getting was the Queen. William Dobson, hello and welcome.
Hi, William.
It's just fantastic. I can't believe when you let these juices sit, you know, you come back and revisit them, you know, a month later, how they fully developed and ripened into something beautiful. I'll be honest, this Prince didn't really impress me too much when I first mixed it up. And I'm like, even 2-3 weeks later, it was like, this is all right, but maybe custard isn't just isn't for me. But here we are. I mean, this was 8/30/22 when this bottle was mixed up, and now it is just a fantastic, delicious custard. And yes, you're right. The fruits get lost as that custard comes to fruition. But I honestly think that's because when we mix these things up, we're looking to vape them in a week or two. If we were to develop these recipes and honestly let these bottles sit for a good 2 months, we could cut the custards back and still be able to recognize the fruits in them later on.
That's what I was thinking, because like when you add like a fruit to a custard, the fruit will probably shine pretty much straight away, but the custard won't. So by the time the custard's developed, your fruits start to fade, you know what I mean? So it's getting that happy medium, innit?
Yeah. Well, that's a beautiful, delicious flavor. And this Queen Juice, it's just a beautiful contrast to that custard. Kind of a sweet tart flavor to it.
Maybe I'll convert you eventually.
Listen, I almost plowed through it. I wanted to keep it just to show you the color. This is what the color is when it's actually fully ripened. Now I understand why Vic says he doesn't have a specific date or time, that you have to wait for this thing. He makes it, throws it in his closet, and he comes back to it and he looks at the color on it, shines the light on, looks at the color and goes, that's not ready yet.
Yeah.
Now I understand it. It's literally a very dark liquid when it's done.
Yeah.
But that is so delicious.
It's really good. Like I say, if you give it time, it's a really good juice.
And Dusty Country Road has a very good idea. Create the custard first. You can set it up as a base, and then when you go to mix it, you just mix up all your fruits in there, and it's a ready to go vape for you.
That could be worth bearing in mind, yeah.
Yeah, because then it's an instant shake and vape. You've got the custard base ready to go for you, and then you just add, your fruits that you want to have in there, be it your peach or your orange or whatever, pineapple, and then those fruits are going to be ripe and fresh right off the bat.
Oh yeah, just about anything. That's the beauty of custard. You can literally put anything in with custard. Literally any fruit you can just chuck in. Anything.
Yes.
Fire it in with custard.
I've definitely learned that. Matter of fact, that apricot delight, my wife's like, I need you to mix me a bottle of that stuff because that's actually that good that she wants to have it in her pod.
I need to mix a bottle of that stuff, and I'm telling you, it looked, I like a bit of apricot. Oh, do I not?
Oh, and the sad thing is, once you start doing this and you start looking up recipes, like, I wanted a picture to go with what this vape tasted like, right? So I started searching for apricot delight, and now all of a sudden, all my social media feeds are nothing but, here's this apricot delicious recipe. Here's a coconut recipe for you.
That's bad there. You search history before you're catching up with you. Like, oh, God.
They know exactly what we do with our time.
Oh, yes. Definitely.
Speaking of which, of doing stuff with our time, I revealed what I got accomplished so far for, improving the channel this week. But one of the things that, kept us back is because, we got a phone call 2:00 in the morning from my wife's brother saying that we need to rush Ducky to the hospital. Ducky is a pit bull. He just adopted back in January. And here, my brother-in-law, a couple weeks back, bummed his knee at work. And like most injuries that you suffer, it isn't something that, just happened, right then and there. It's not like he fell off of a 20-foot ladder or something. He basically, stepped off of something and felt like his knee jerked and twisted. And so he ended up going and getting MRIs done and x-rays and all this other stuff and seeing the orthopedic doctor because apparently he's got something in the actual, I don't even remember what the actual anatomical name of it is it's on the bone where your kneecap slides on. He's got a spur in there. No, the kneecap is the patella. This is an actual, on the bone itself, on the femur, you've got a slot on the top of the head of the femur, and inside that is where like the ligaments and tendons roll when you bend your knee.
Got you, yeah.
So anyway, he's got a ligament that's in there, and he's got a bone spur, and the ligament has been slowly getting cut, and that was the final straw that broke the camel's back for him. Needless to say, he's off work, waiting for the orthopedic to decide whether he needs surgery or not.
Ouch.
So, bad timing for Ducky to decide one night. My brother's sitting there watching TV, dozes off, watching TV, and the dog decides to get into his Naprosyn, his prescription Naprosyn, 500 milligram tablets. And he's like, you know what? This dog chews lids off of all kinds of pop bottles, soda bottles, whatnot. Maybe he didn't actually take any pills. Maybe he was just chewing the bottle just to chew the bottle. Well, that changed 2:00 in the morning when the dog started throwing up all over the place. And there we were. Shuffle him down to the animal vet hospital. He called poison control. They gave him a case number, the whole 9 yards. I couldn't believe how much hoopla was made up over this thing, And back when I was growing up, their dog's place was outside. And they had their own dog house. They could go in there to stay warm in the winter, but nowadays dogs have become part of your family.
Well, they are. Definitely.
So,
I think your wife corrected you there and said he's a Rottweiler.
Rottweiler.
He's a Rottweiler.
Well, we'll take a look at the picture here in a moment, but I do want to play a little game first.
Oh.
We've been watching this show. It's Pit Bulls and Parolees. So my wife, has been posting stuff on social media, and she posted this thing, and I'm like, this would be a good segue to get into talking about Ducky and whatnot. So here's the question for you: potato or pit bull?
Come on. I've spotted them.
Okay, this is a potato. This is a pit bull. This one? What do you say?
I've got all three, actually, yeah.
What is this one? Guess this one.
Where are you? We're at the bottom row or the top row?
Right here. You see the mouse?
Oh, top row. It's the second. There's one second one in from the left, and there's one on the right. But that's a bit.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
That's
How about this
potato.
one? Second row, first one.
That one there where your mouse is a dog. That one's a dog.
This one's a potato.
Give over. Right now you can see his little tail at the bottom, man. He's curled. That's a potato.
This is the potato right here. This is a dog, obviously. You see the collar.
Yeah.
How about this one? That's a potato.
That's a tail, yeah.
This is a potato.
Yeah.
This is a pit bull. There's another potato.
That's a tail. That's a dog.
How about this last one? This one's a dog.
Yeah.
There you go.
Potato and one dog.
Oh, I love these cute little things on there. You know, everybody needs to put a smile on their face from time to time. And it's nice seeing something on social media that isn't, you know, political or disastrous news and whatnot. So
Bit of fun, innit? You know what I mean?
yeah. All right, so getting back to the whole Ducky scenario, there's Ducky there.
Oh, poor little fella. Oh.
Yeah, he definitely wasn't feeling good. The joys of being in a hospital. And what really surprised me, like I was telling Kenny before the show started, is I can't believe how expensive it is. They went $350 right off the bat before they would even evaluate him to see what's going on. And then when they evaluated him, they said, listen, if he swallowed an Naprosyn, you know, it could kill him. We need to admit him to the hospital overnight for observation. And it's going to be $2,500, and we need to have that before we can actually admit him.
Wow. Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So he was admitted to the hospital, and they did some lab work on him, and they checked the levels, and his kidney function levels were, you know, going up and down and whatnot. They gave him some fluids to hydrate him. They did the whole charcoal thing in his stomach to try and absorb what might have been there, even though it was more than 24 hours earlier that he potentially actually did it. And here's my brother-in-law's post. Just want to take a moment to thank everyone who has already donated online, in person, Cash App, and his brothers down at the mill where he works at, who have already donated to this. And then the people that don't know, he's been out of work for 4 weeks now due to his knee injury. And something like this happening to Ducky at this kind of time has hit the bank really hard.
Oh,
so,
yes.
I figured I'd share the link. There you go. I'm going to share the link here to the GoFundMe page that was started to help cover the cost of this thing. Like I said, the initial visit was $350. The overnight emergency room was $2,500, and Ducky was in the animal hospital for 3 days.
Wow.
So that's why, you know, when this thing first got started, we're like, okay, well, you know, we'll just cover the cost for the initial overnight stay. And then the goal's been raised twice already to, you know, get us close to where we need to be to cover the cost for Ducky to stay at the hospital. Plus, now that he's actually home, he's still got to go and get lab work done to reevaluate, make sure that there's no residual issues, and they're going to go back in and check, make sure he doesn't develop an ulcer, because they do think that he did swallow that Naprosyn. But there's a link in the description of the video. If you guys have the resources, you know, please feel to donate to this. Don't feel obligated, but because I know that, you know, there's plenty of people out there that are living paycheck to paycheck and they're tight as it is. But it is definitely not cheap to take your dog to the vet. I was kind of shocked.
I think, like I say, it's worth bearing in mind the pet insurance as well. But even with pet insurance, you've got to pay the costs up front and then claim them back off your insurance. I think that's the way it works over here, anyway.
Yeah, so I've seen it before, advertised, buy pet insurance, buy pet insurance. I'm like, for what? If you take care of your dog, short of him getting run over if he runs out into the street or something. But then again, that's your fault for not having him on a leash. But
you just don't know.
It does get to be very expensive very quickly.
Especially, like I say, if you've got to breed a dog that does like to chew, like you say, the Rottweilers, the Bull Terrier breed, they like to chew because they've got muscular jaws, they like to chew stuff to keep their jaws up to scratch, and they will literally chew anything, you know what I mean? So, there's a bit of a risk factor with that anyway.
Our Lucy is a beagle mix, and she always chews the top off of bottles. If we have a soda or something, we get done with it, we got to crank that top on there, toss it out there for her to chew it off.
Yeah.
Doesn't take her any time at all to do that.
So yeah, we've got a Staffordshire bull over here, and he loves chewing stuff. I mean, we've got plenty of hardy toys for him, like, but if he gives us a bottle there or something, he'll have a go at it.
Oh yeah. It isn't just the rawhide that they like to play with.
Oh no. Speaking of which, he's flat out over there, absolutely zonked.
So this is our drama for the week.
Unbelievable, man.
But care credit was applied for.
It's probably worth something thinking about. Like if you are a dog or an animal owner, like I say, veterinary care is very expensive. It
is. I can't believe how expensive it is. $2,500 just to keep them overnight. I'm like, for what? Really? I mean, I could understand a couple $100 and then whatever expenses are incurred, for the IV fluids or whatever. It's a flat out $2,500.
But my friend's dog ate some, shall we just say his son left some herbal tobacco lying about, and his dog managed to eat some. So his dog, it's only a little Shih Tzu, it's tiny. So this dog is up its nuts, and he had to take her to the vets.
Speaking of nuts, that's my shirt for today.
Yep.
Gonna drive you nuts.
It is going to
Normally, logos are put on the right-hand side. Well, it's on the left-hand side.
That was an expensive trip as well. Our poor dog was absolutely stoned.
All right, one more little bit here that we need to cover. Jumping back to Chrome, last call, 2022 Vapor Survey. This is from Vaping Saved My Life. There's a link in the description below. This takes 5 minutes. Fill out this survey. The original post came from Facebook, and obviously this is for South Africa because that's where the guy that started Vaping Saved My Life is from. But this closes Saturday on the 4th of February, so click on the link below and fill out the survey. It only takes a moment of your time. But they want to know general information on, what are people doing? Are they using big open tank vapor systems? Did you start vaping to quit smoking? The usual questions on, general classifications for us vapors out there. Because when you go to advocate for things, it's nice to know that, the majority of your people are now on disposables, that the headlines are actually true.
Yeah.
Or you might find the opposite.
Yeah. Welcome, Scott Merriman. Glad you could join us, sir.
Live chat. Oh, there he is. I didn't even see him come in. All these technological advancements that we do.
Honestly,
and I still miss things.
Yeah, it's just this blinging. I don't know why it actually just defaults to top chat. It's just annoying. Absolutely annoying. But
I don't know. And we do have a question in chat today.
Ooh.
Let me swap over.
The question. The
question was, have you ever had a pet that needed emergency vet care? 9 votes. 89% of you answered yes, and 11% said no. Just shocking, you know, that's the last thing on our mind most of the time. It's like, you know, we're out sleeping. The dog should be sleeping, right? Our dog, Lucy, likes to get up in the middle of the night and go downstairs. And it's like, are you thirsty? Or did you get enough sleep earlier from your nap that you don't want to sleep at night? And then turns out, you know, my daughter came up to go to school early in the morning, caught her on the sofa. Sofa's a lot more comfortable to sleep in than laying on the little mattress next to the bed.
Oh, you know, we spoiled them, didn't we? That's spoiled rotten. I mean, my kids.
All right, one more thing here. Advocacy. There's always going to be a little bit of news or advocacy here. If it's bad news, I may not even cover it anymore because it's just getting to the point where it's so ridiculous out there. We've already disproved all these things, but they keep getting regurgitated over and over again by the mainstream media. So I was thinking, you know, trying to think outside the box. I'm like, the National Youth Tobacco Survey has a great percentage of the people out there that say that they're using unflavored vapes. I have never in my entire life seen an unflavored vape. Yes, I know that you can make VG, PG, and nicotine because that's technically what an unflavored vape is. Tobacco flavored vape juice is actually a flavored liquid. It's a complex flavor. So I asked, can anyone show me a single, completely unflavored, commercially available nicotine vape? Because I honestly thought that they don't exist.
I've never seen them in my time, like never, ever, ever.
Well, ask and ye shall receive.
It's not something I've come across.
It actually does exist.
Does.
Flavorless vape.
I was just
20
about
milligram.
to add. I was just about to add. There's bound to be somebody selling this.
And from the dual English-French language, you can tell it's a Canadian product and the labeling requirements.
20 milligrams salt.
Pod.
2 ml.
Replaceable pod. They do actually sell it. But I don't think that's what the 20% of youth that answered they use an unflavored product are using. We all know that they're using THC.
Yeah.
That's the only unflavored thing out there, and they have flavors for them too.
Pretty much. That's so odd. Very odd.
I love how it says, you know, do you want to see the rest of these ones? They may contain offensive content. What is offensive about this content? Look at how they even tobacco flavored vape gross. They tell you what elements can be used to result in only shitty tasting crap. That's true. How is that offensive?
Exactly. Oh, well, you can't have a point of view, you know, without offending somebody. You should know that by now in this politically correct world. You know what I mean?
And then what gets even more flabbergasting is, you know, Jenny Wing says that I bought unflavored in Canada. And she thinks that it's also illegal in some places because obviously all that people have to do is add their own flavoring to it and bam, they can get whatever flavor they want.
Possibility.
But that really surprised me. There is a commercially made product out on the market. I don't see it in any of the vape shops I've ever visited. But the product is out there, flavorless.
That's so
20
odd.
milligram pod. And then somebody else, you know, was commenting about the fact that, you know, you can get unflavored vape juice. It's used as an ingredient to create liquids. We know that. We can make our own. It's that simple. But I did learn something that really does shock me. I was convinced that there really wasn't a commercially made product out there that is completely unflavored.
I've never heard of anything like myself either. None at all.
Never a dull moment.
There isn't.
All right, well, now that we got all that stuff out of the way, I think it's time for us to dive into a random recipe.
Sorry, I'm just waving at me better half because she's just coming from work.
Mine's home from work today as well. Am I logged in? Okay, why does the privacy policy disappear? I don't know.
There's a sec.
Let's get Sherlock Holmes to figure out what we can make.
That's too far. Necessary. You know, all the issues are probably too back. Them two's upstairs. One's
There you go. I'm curious to see what Sherlock Holmes brings up for us today. We've come up with some amazing recipes that all taste fantastic. Some of them don't taste really good at the beginning, but I'll tell you what, once you let them sit around a while, it's surprising how good things can get. So what are we going to do? Totally random off the top of the bat. We did the strawberry gushers ice cream last week. I've got it sitting here. We'll try that out shortly. What's a good flavor profile? Peanut butter ice cream. That sounds wonderful. We'll give that a shot today. I'm not going to make the same mistake that I made the last time. Customize the recipe so I get the right size bottle. And there is our recipe for today. So let's get these ingredients. Peanut butter. SSA.
She said I won't be back in a while. Don't wait. Already packed her bags. Call the cab. Made space.
Super sweet. From Capella. TPA is vanilla bean ice cream.
I do apologise for that, guys. Just catching up with me better half there. Oh.
And Capella vanilla custard.
What we're making? Peanut butter ice cream. Oh.
Simple 3-ingredient recipe, not counting the sweetener.
Vanilla bean ice cream, vanilla custard, and peanut butter SSA. Oh. I'm hitty-missy with peanut butter, like, I'll be honest with you. Very hitty-missy.
I do need to adjust this recipe because this one is set up as a max VG. I'm going to go with a 70-30.
I don't mind peanut butter on toast, like, crunchy.
You know what? I've detected toast in a bunch of these, like one-shots and stuff, and it's just, I don't care for the toast flavor.
That's burnt.
Even as a background note. It's not so much that it's burnt or that it's wrong, it's just... Maybe it's my sweet tooth that's stopping me from enjoying it.
To be honest with you, I don't think toast works as a vape. I think, it should be left alone, that one, and its own little world.
Yeah, but if you sub that toast out for like a biscuit, it'd be a different story.
Exactly. Or even a pastry, you know what I mean? Possibly.
Yeah.
I don't... Toast is... yeah, I don't know.
I thought I would enjoy it because, to be actually... Basically, like you said numerous times before, if it says what it says on the tin, and that's what it tastes like, you should be happy with it.
Oh, definitely.
I expect, strawberry jam toast to taste like strawberry jam toast. And when it does, I'm not happy with it.
Nope.
Because I'm put off by the toast.
But that's subjective.
Other people might love it.
That can still be subjective anyway, because, like, if you actually make yourself strawberry jam toast to eat, you might like a lot of butter on, a little bit of jam, or vice versa. loads of jam, no butter. You know, there's that as well. You know, that's going to be your expectation of the taste, isn't it?
And I think it also boils down to the fact that if you take a look at a toaster, how many settings are on the toaster?
Yeah.
Not everybody likes their toast really toasted.
Nope.
Some people like it just a little bit on the outside, just a little firmness.
My kids may as well put it in the microwave because all they do is warm the bread up. It doesn't even get any brown on it. They just keep it out. It's warm. That's it. Like, what's the point?
I don't understand how they can do that. It's just like, what?
Literally just in 3 seconds and out. Like, well, what was the point of that? Crazy, man. Absolutely crazy.
Moving stuff around all over the place, but you know what? That's the advantage of having it on a boom arm like this. Well,
I'm sorry to say I've finished my tea, so I'm now going to crack open a beverage.
I'll be joining you here shortly. Don't worry about it.
See, I am drinking the old Stella Artois this week.
Ooh.
The old Frenchy lager.
Here's our SSA peanut butter.
La Bière Fine Deluxe.
Smells like a good peanut butter.
That's Belgian beer. It's Belgian beer, man. What my time with French? Belgian. Well, it may as well be French because Belgium speak French and is it Flemish or something over there?
I'm surprised at how many people in Europe speak English or French or Spanish. That isn't their native language.
Oh God, well they do teach it as a curriculum in school over here, you know. But when I was at school, you had a choice of French or German. But now they've kicked German into touch and it's just French now. But my wife, her relations are German, so she would love it if somebody spoke German, you know, because my wife speaks a little bit of German. She's quite good at it as well. She's got that accent down to a T.
Yeah, it was required. You're required in America as well to take in English or, you know, extra language besides English, either Spanish or German or French are the typical options that are offered to you. And like a dumbass at the time, I didn't take up the opportunity to learn another language because I already knew Hungarian. Hungarian was one of the first languages I learned.
Yeah.
And
I regret. I would like to speak another language. It would be brilliant.
Well, growing up the whole time, I actually went every Monday night to Hungarian school. They organized in Cleveland the Hungarian school, and they basically rented an actual school, and they set up classrooms for grades 1 through 12, and one of the parents volunteered to teach each of the classes. And I went to Hungarian school every Monday night the whole time I was going through regular school.
You do realize there is one language that breaks all lingual barriers, and it's well known around the world as a single language which everybody understands. Can you guess what it is?
Sign language?
Yeah, sign language. Everybody understands sign language, no matter what country you're in.
It's a universal language.
Very clever.
Yeah, my wife even wanted to learn sign language for that simple reason.
I would love to, mate. It'd be brilliant, but you know, it's everybody associates it with the deaf and hard of hearing. But you know, you can have some fun with it. I used to have a friend. His mom was tone deaf. She was born deaf, and that's how they communicated. It was sign language, and he used to teach us little bits and bobs, you know, to get by. And we could have conversations 100 meters apart, you know, just be giving it a hand. And we knew exactly what we were saying. And everybody's looking at us like, what the hell are they? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, you know what? With modern phones, the way they have the Zoom capabilities of it, you could literally be a half a mile or a kilometer away and be able to see what somebody's saying.
Probably to the other side of the world on a Zoom call. You know, just Zoom like I'm talking to you. And
well, yeah, but that's a whole different thing. If you're on Zoom, you could use the audio settings as well.
Exactly.
But it's a nice fallback if your microphone broke.
All right. Well, we're not none of them like that, and yup yours, and everybody knows that one. F you.
That surprised me as well. You know, signs that we give to each other and stuff, we assume we understand what they mean, but they have different cultural impacts in different parts of the world.
Oh, I mean,
you know, in some parts of the world, you grab the wrong part of your anatomy to scratch it, and somebody's going to take offense to it.
Well, if you've got an itch, you've got to scratch it, haven't you? It doesn't matter where it is.
The point is, in those countries, you know, you turn away from the public and you do that in private.
Oh, I don't know, like ooh.
All right, topping it off with 5.37 of PG.
Just trying to see what we've got here. I've just
Got a match on today.
Newcastle's on tonight. It's the second leg of the cup semi-final. I think that's where Sean's up to tonight. He's good. They're at home, so I'm just assuming it'll be on Sky. Yeah, the EFL Carabao Cup. It's about 8 o'clock kickoff, so it's bags of time. Yeah. I've just been trying to find a new shall we say, a stream for my Fire Stick because the other one ran out and I wasn't very happy with it. So I'm doing a 48-hour pass on one at the moment, and it looks quite good at the moment. So I'm a happy bunny.
Oh, wonderful.
The other one ran up, but the other one it was fine for watching normal stuff, you know, and then it just started buffering, and it had us like gone paranoid, thinking the internet was crap and all this. But you know, the internet was fine. There was nothing wrong with the internet, and I'm thinking, why is it buffering? And, I was just doing my head in. So I'm just there to run out. It's the subscriptions ran out for the year, so I think I'm trying another one. Up to now, the one I found is quite good.
Listen, about 2 decades ago, I went out and bought myself the biggest antenna that I could find. And I mounted that sucker up on the roof and put a rotator on the thing, ran all the wires down inside. And this is literally, you know, back right before they switched out and had digital TV.
Yeah, the old motorized dishes, is that what you had?
Yeah, and I bought myself a satellite dish to pick up the open source, you know, satellite channels that are out there. A nice big 1 meter dish up on the roof, and set that thing up because I wanted to watch the Hungarian channel, Duna TV. Set that thing up there and watched all this stuff. And then they came out with a digital TV, and now, you know, each channel now has 3 or 4 or 5, even 6 channels. So, I mean, I literally have 50 channels available to me just from the over-the-air antenna. So I got rid of the whole cable stuff, got Netflix, because, you know, you obviously want to watch movies once in a while. And I love the fact that whatever was on Netflix had no commercials on it. Well, that sold me forever. I do not ever want to watch a commercial if I don't have to watch it.
No.
So between that and Amazon Prime for streaming, I don't need any other channels to watch. And the thing is, Amazon even offers the actual sports networks and stuff. So if you wanted to watch your football, you go watch it.
Yeah, I've watched the odd match on Amazon, yeah, because we had like Amazon Prime, so it kind of covered you for obviously your express parcel delivery, and you know, you could watch sports events, and I think what like the Amazon movies as well. So you know, it kind of come in with that. William, get away, William. What do you mean someone's got to support Newcastle? I'm Newcastle in me veins, mate. Yeah, this is a possibility of us winning silverware. You know, I've done it for 50 years, so come on, it's get behind them. It's 50 years since we last won silverware. It's like
sorry, I'm making my label here.
It's the old joke that say there's a rivalry up here between Sun and Newcastle. You say it's like Tyne and Weir derby type of thing, but obviously Sun and lower divisions. But there was always a rivalry, and the joke they used to say was, St James's Park got broke into, and the police said, "Oh, Did they get any trophies? He says, no, it was empty anyway. Ha ha ha. You know what I mean? Very funny. I mean, it was all kind of banter with that, man. I heard a good one the other day. It just tickled my... You know what it is? I've been training my dog to beg for about 6 months now, and I think he's finally nailed it.
Yeah.
The other day he came in, he made 30 quid. I thought that just tickled my funny bone, that one. I was absolutely quite tickly happy with that one. It was just tickled my. That's my sense of humour. That's how my level of sense of humour comes. The crapper the joke, the funnier I find it. Pretty much.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Nah.
I'm discombobulated because my wife bought me a trash can instead of hanging the bag from my drawer.
Oh, you finally got it.
It's got a lid on it, so I got to reach the opposite direction for it.
Yeah,
Mongo 100, hello and welcome.
Hello, Birdman 69.
So I'm curious to see how long it's going to take for this PB ice cream to actually show up and taste like the actual recipe's name.
Quick shout out to Birdman 69 is in the house as well, my young sir.
Hello and welcome, Birdman 69.
On his phone at work.
Fantastic. Peanut butter ice cream. What are we gonna vape this on? Hey, guess what? I finally got this bloody tank apart for the fat rabbit. The goofiest tank in the world. You literally have to quarter turn this and then wiggle it to get it to separate.
Yeah, it's sort of screwy. It's like a bayonet fitting in it.
You know, it's not too bad if you keep this thing, wicked and, the O-rings on here have some juice on them because, it's easy to turn. But once you clean this thing out and put it away, don't put this away without putting some juice on the bottom of this O-ring.
I just sit mine on the top. I don't even screw it down. I just sit it and put on a stand. I just sit on the top. Because I remember when I bought it, when it was brand new, out the box, it was a pig to get apart. I was pulling and tugging. You were heaving it because of the dry O-ring. And that was brand new out of the box. I thought, oh, this is not good.
And they don't even have any index marks on the bottom for you to line it up so you know that you can set, this is where you open it and this is where it's closed.
Like a lock and an open dial type of thing.
Yeah, something like that. Even in just an engraved slot so that if the slots line up, you can pull it apart.
Yeah.
When the slots don't line up, it doesn't come apart.
Simple stuff in it. Pardon me. I forgot how gassy that Stella is. Oh, just clean the old eyes.
That tastes fantastic.
Oh, first impressions are good.
It tastes like a peanut butter ice cream.
How strong is the peanut butter? Is your peanut butter your predominant flavor? Would you say?
No. It's like it's a vanilla ice cream with a touch of peanut butter in it.
So it's more background than a predominant.
They're pretty balanced.
Oh.
Which means it's definitely going to be a background note once the ice cream comes to the forefront.
I don't mind an ice cream, babe. Like I used to I had a raspberry ripple one, and I can't remember who it was by, but it was like in a bargain basement. It was like that they were just selling them off to get rid of them because I hadn't stocked up. So it was like a one-off, and it was raspberry ripple, and honestly, it nailed it. The flavor was fantastic on it. But I can't remember for love nor money who it was from. Oh no. "4:45 a.m. in Sydney. He's been working for 2 hours. My God. Poor Birdman."
Wife and I last night watched a movie. It's about a dog named Red.
Oh, right.
Fantastic movie. It was one of those ones where it's like, my wife's always into watching dog movies, right? When I put this thing on, she's like, I don't know if I want to watch this one. It's a foreign movie, blah, blah, blah. And so I put it on anyway because there really wasn't anything else. We've already watched through all our shows. There's nothing that we haven't seen that, the next episode isn't airing yet. So I put it on last night. What a fantastic story. And now apparently this dog is a legend in Western Australia. I mean, if you ever get the opportunity to see Red Dog, highly recommend that movie.
I stopped watching animal films because I had me in bits, man. The last thing I watched was Lassie Come Home. I was crying like a baby at it. Honestly. Can anybody remember that? Lassie the dog. Can anybody remember watching that? Lassie.
I watched it as a kid growing up.
Oh my God, I was devastated with that. Honestly. And then obviously when Elvis Presley come out with Old Shep, where bugger was a gibbering wreck.
Wow, that's a really good recipe. Right in the shake and vape.
Probably because it's not complex, like you said. It's 3 flavors, and it works.
Yeah, vanilla custard, vanilla bean ice cream, and peanut butter. And the peanut butter that's in there cuts right through.
Is it? I'm not picking at straws, but is it crunchy peanut butter or smooth peanut butter?
Oh, it's a smooth peanut butter, no question about it. See, and people are like, how can you even tell the difference? Well, the crunchy peanut butter has more of a roasted peanut flavor than the smooth peanut butter.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you completely lost the texture of it, you can still tell there's a difference between the two of them.
Oh, yeah. I'm a crunchy fan myself when I do have it. I like it on toast.
That is staying on my desk. That is actually really good. So I highly recommend, if you like these flavors, give this thing a try.
I like
peanut butter ice cream.
I like the sound of it.
Mm-hmm. Suggested steep time 2 days. Yeah, I do think that it's going to get better because of the custard that's in there. I really like that.
Oh, God. That's right, William. William Dobson says, and Black Beauty. Black Beauty. My God, it was with the horse. Oh, my God. Black Beauty. Dear me. Hallelujah.
The show that my wife and I love to watch and follow is Heartland. It's an equestrian ranch in Alberta, Canada.
Ooh. Thanks for dropping by, Mongo. Take care, mate. He's got to go back to work.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you stopping by on your lunch hour.
Yeah,
wow.
Animal.
And it's just sweet enough, too. That's the thing that really shocking me.
You didn't even have to put any super sweet in and out, no?
There's 1% of super sweet in there, but there's been plenty of times when I put it in there, and that's something else that, I haven't talked about before. You end up learning when you start single flavor testing things, you learn that there's certain ingredients that are based already in it. You get yourself a juicy peach, and you get yourself, a sweet strawberry. Those already have sweeteners in them. And most of the time it's ethyl maltol. And ethyl maltol by itself as a flavor is one of those flavors that if you put too much into the thing, you will mute flavors.
Yeah.
That's why some of the times, you're better off substituting out sweet strawberry from one brand for another brand. Or if you don't have this one and you subbed a different one out, now all of a sudden the recipe loses all flavor profile and it's just a muted mess.
Yeah.
It's because of things like the ethyl maltol that they put into those juice flavorings, and they already contain a high percentage of them. So you can adjust that by, making sure that you don't add any ethyl maltol to it as a sweetener. Like, you go with the TFA sweetener, that's a 50% blend of ethyl maltol and the same thing that we have in Super Sweet.
Oh, sorry. That's right, William Dobson. Don't forget Skippy, the Australian one. That was so corny and cheesy, that one. The kangaroo will come and go. Like that, and the bloke's gone, what, Skippy? Peter's trapped in a hole in the middle of the bush. As if he's having a conversation with the kangaroo. It was so... Oh.
The only way you can have a bigger conversation with an animal is Mr. Ed. You remember Mr. Ed, the talking horse?
Yeah. Going further back.
Dusty Country Road, you're absolutely right. I wish Ty would have never died off the show. That was just, I mean, I understand the guy wants to do other things, but main character.
Even going further back, what I very, very vaguely remember was Champion the Wonder Horse. That was the
I do not know that show.
Champion the Wonder Horse. Old black and white one it was. I think it was American based as well. I think it was an American program. Champion the Wonder Horse. Very corny, cheesy 50s. Champion the Wonder Horse. And it was love it.
The Adventures of Champion the Wonder Horse.
Champion the Wonder Horse.
Autry was a singing cowboy.
Yeah, look at that, man.
79 films from 1935 to 1952.
No, I must say I wasn't around then. I just kind of watched the repeat.
Listen, I wasn't around when John Wayne was in his heyday either, but I love watching his movies.
Yeah, Champion the Wonder Horse. My God.
The one that, you know, connected with me the most, I mean, I love the whole Rio Bravo, Rio Lobo, the trifecta there that they created, but Hellfighters, where he goes, and it was based on, you know, true circumstances. Fighting oil well fires.
Ah. I'll take that. Is that Red Adair or something was based on? He was a big firefighter, wasn't he, for the oil rigs? Was some Red Adair or something they called him? I can't remember now.
Yep, fantastic movie. John Wayne, Catherine Ross, Jim Hudson. Do you ever notice back when you look into these older movies and stuff, how they always had the same sidekicks in the movies?
Yeah. Well, they just had all the actors were all in were literally in all the movies, basically. John Wayne, man, the Duke, Jesus. I've got a photo of me standing next to him.
Oh yeah,
it was in Madame Tussauds, like, but I was standing next to him.
Never a dull moment with you.
Same with Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know, I was standing next to him as well. I don't think you kind of beat a good old Laurel and Hardy film as well. Brilliant. I used to love them.
Red Dog. This was fantastic. I truly loved it.
Red Dog.
Legendary true story of Red Dog, who united a desperate local community while roaming Australia outback in the search of his long-lost master.
I know what they based that off. There used to be a program called The Littlest Hobo, and that was a dog in Australia that wandered across various towns, and you know, it had little adventures in each town. Then he wandered off into the next town. It's called The Littlest Hobo, I think it was. It was like an Australian series program.
Amazing.
Bloody animals, man. Honestly, they pull the heartstrings.
Yes, it was Dusty. Walton's another good series. I watched that when I was growing up as a kid.
Oh, Walton's, God.
Little House on the Prairie.
I'll tell you what was a right tearjerker, and you'll know this one. Highway to Heaven. Oh, yes. Christ.
Highway to Heaven with Michael Landon and his co-star there.
Oh, almighty. You'll never dry eye in the house when you watch that, man.
That's true.
Oh, Lordy do. Aye, Little House in the Prairie. God, that was funny. Highway to Heaven, Jesus. They don't make them like that anymore now, do they, man?
They don't. The shows nowadays are just so different in so many different ways.
Total different era then, man. Total different era.
And I can't believe how many remakes they can do of shows from our day and age.
It is. That's all they're doing. There's nobody.
Like nobody has an original idea to follow off of. There's no more true stories to tell.
Nope. I mean, it's all remakes of all the classics.
Yeah, my wife and I actually went to the movies this weekend. I can't remember the name of this show. It was a Man Called Otto was the film that we saw.
Oh.
Tom Hanks stars in it. He was the main character in it. Grumpy old man. And it's labeled as a comedy drama, but...
Grumpy old... We can probably relate to that, being a grumpy old man, can't we?
Yeah, well, his wife passed away from cancer. So obviously, he's a grumpy old man. Feels like he's got nothing else to live for anymore.
Oh, God,
and it's a beautiful story. I get the impression that, it's based on real circumstance, somebody's actual true story.
Oh, God, will they?
It wasn't what the trailer led me to believe it was about, though.
Ah.
And I sit there, and even coming home from the movie theater, we were going to Olive Garden for dinner, and I was talking with the wife, and I'm like, it wasn't what the trailer led you to believe it was going to be. You walked into it thinking, it's going to be a heartfelt story, about an old guy and its trying times and whatnot, but there were 3 suicide attempts that he tried to do that was in the movie that gets interrupted by the neighbor, and that was such a dominant part of the whole movie. It's like changes your whole outlook on the whole thing.
Oh, true enough. I mean, anybody who's experienced it in real life will probably know, exactly where he's coming from or can relate to it really well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's the things that you don't think about when you're younger. You realize as you get older, it's like, you see these people that you've grown up with and you looked up to, they were your mentors or whatnot. And then you see they get to the end of their life and they've lost everybody around them. They're the only sole person left in their family and in their friend circle. And
yeah,
it just gets to the point. It's like, you got to look out for other people. Like we look out for a guy across the street from us, him and his wife, you hardly ever see them anymore. They never come out of their house.
It's kind of like when you find out like people you used to go to school with, and somebody will come up and say, remember such and such, he died such and such, and like, bloody hell, he was only young, and and like you remember them as a child, and they might have been fit and healthy and everything, and or they were Mr. Popular or Miss Popular or whatever, and then all of a sudden they're gone. You're like, bloody hell, what happened there? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I can't believe how many of the people that I went to high school with have already passed away.
Yeah. It's phenomenal. Even guys I used to play like football with as well when I left school, and I played football a lot of time, and we were all fit as lops then. We used to eat, sleep, breathe football. We used to finish work, we used to whether playing football every night or football training or whatever, 7 days a week. And we're all like fit as lops, and then, you see them years ago, they've put on a few stone and they've keeled over heart attacks and God knows what, and you're thinking, bloody hell, what happened there, It's weird, man. Really weird. And, some of them are like 10 years more younger than you as well, and you're like, Christ almighty, what happened?
Yeah.
Phenomenal, man.
And it's not even, that they died of some traumatic, vehicle accident or something like that, or, they've had a workplace injury or, fell off a cliff or something. I mean, these are people that legit got sick and died way before their time.
Yeah. There's a couple of them just dropped down dead with heart attacks, they're only young. Heart attack, for God's sake, you're like, wow. Unbelievable, man.
The younger generations want to try and understand why those of us in this age group fight so hard for something that is so life-changing like vaping. You can't relate until you put yourself into our shoes and you get to realize, the end of the road is eventually going to come. There's no doubt about it. There's nothing you can do to change that fact.
Oh, that's
eventually,
indefinite.
we all will go.
Yeah, that's indefinite. That's never going to change.
It gets to the point where you're starting to think about, all right, which one of my kids is going to be the first one to give me a grandchild?
Mm-hmm.
And wanting to improve your health so that you can still be here to give them the spoiling that they deserve.
Yeah. It's got to show you how short a time we are on this planet. You know what I mean? We might think it drags on and it's a lifetime, but you know, it's just a small amount of time we're here, man. Very small.
It's a blink of an eye.
Yeah, literally.
Yes. So, might as well enjoy ourselves while we're here.
Hell yeah.
Here we have ourselves our... I'm going to take this label off. I really want to know what the name of this thing actually is. Why they put the labels, the price on top of the actual name of the product, I don't know.
Oh, it's crazy. But my pet here is when I sometimes do some Amazon deliveries, right? And they've got these little yellow stickers they put on. And basically there's the code of the parcel, and then it's the number of parcel. And they put it over the bloody barcode that you've got to scan. So you've got to sit and peel it off.
Yeah. Lacto Cooler.
Lacto Cooler. I don't like the sound of that lacto. It sounds like it's a lactose drink.
Well, I'm not lactose intolerant, so I don't think it's going to be an issue today.
I was just wondering, like, this, what a name, lacto. Or is it going to make you?
Tell me that's not a kid's label, kid-friendly label.
Nah, it's there for all to see as well on the shelf. Tut, tut, tut.
I can't even see exactly what it is. I did remember reading it earlier when I picked at the can. It just says malt beverage with artificial and certified colors. What's a certified color?
Is it a beer or a lager?
5.5% alcohol by volume. This can is 1 pint. Ah, it says right on the very top of the label. That's what those small letters on the top say.
Oh, boy.
Flavored Berliner style Wise Ale.
Ale. Ah, there you go. Flavor. Oh, God. It looks like that bloody green thing, doesn't it?
And I don't have a posh glass to pour it into today. I'm sorry.
Oh, you need ale in a glass, man. You got to pour ale in a glass. Or a container. It's horrible. Ale out of a can. It's got to be poured. I'll tell you that now for now.
All right. I need a glass.
Yeah. You've got a can of that. It's that monster of Ghostbusters, isn't it? That little green slimy thing.
It's sweet like a candy. It's kind of like that cider I had from last week, but it's so sweet. This stuff here.
It's not an energy drink. Ales need to be poured.
All right. I'm gonna go and get myself a glass here.
Go get one. Well, it's just me and chat. Let's catch up with chat, eh? Let's have a look. You know, we've bloody deserted you again. All right, what we got? Hellfire's a good one. Red a Day. Oh, so I was right. Red a Day. I was right with that. Walton's. Dusty, Little House Prairie, yeah, Real Children. Hector, a flavoured Bull City, Late Night Vape Show, pee all over the top from the warehouse. What's that about? So, guys, I mean, you know, what's your favourite tipple? You know, what do you guys like to have a little glass of, or a can of, or you know what I mean? It'd be interesting to know. I mean, you know, if there's any wine drinkers out there, any whiskey or spirit drinkers out there, or you know, beer or lager drinkers, you know, what is it that you like? I mean, personally, I'm more a beer, lager, and I dabble in wine now and then, but I very, very rarely touch spirits now, because
that's what I need, a wine.
It's like I said, spirits send me doolally, and plus I just can't do hangovers anymore at my age, I'm afraid. I just can't do them. There we go, he's back with a glass.
Looks like Mountain Dew.
So, little late night vape show, like sour mash whiskies. Ooh, whiskey. Oh, look at Dusty Country Road, the sensible one. He likes coffee. Oh, look at the colour of that. That is a friggin' urine sample. That's green pea. Oh. Jesus. What on earth is that?
Holds true to the colors they put on the can.
Holy shit.
Like the green slime from Ghostbusters.
Oh, Bennett. For some reason, I can't see me going to a bar and ordering a pint of green stuff.
I don't think it's going to pair very well with this peanut butter.
It's like you say, don't knock it until you try it, eh? You never know. It doesn't look nice, but you never know. William Dobson put that was a big glass for a whiskey.
So sweet.
Really? I'm surprised for an ale, like, you know what I mean?
It's like a wine cooler. It's so sweet. And legit is green.
That's bad. That's the late night vape shows put snot beers.
Snot beers.
Oh no. But, you know, if it's alcoholic and it guns down the hatch, what more can you want?
Well, go figure. Queen juice and ecto cooler. Oh yeah. That definitely pairs well together.
You've hit the nail on the head there for Halloween. A pint of that green stuff, cloud a bit of vape in, and you've got a spooky looking drink.
And that queen juice just cuts right through it. What is in this queen juice? I gotta go look at my recipes here.
What is in that snot juice? That's what I'm more concerned about. My lordy do.
There's our queen juice.
Ah.
Blueberry juicy lemon. Raspberry and sweet strawberry.
That could be what's gone with it, like them too. Oh, he's got a nice little picture there as well, eh?
It definitely pairs well with it.
Wow.
It's sweet and tart at the same time.
It's a new one on me. I've never seen a pint of green alcoholic liquid ever.
The only time I've ever seen green ale before this is on St. Patrick's Day. Because St. Patrick's Day, everything's tinted, tinted green or colored green.
Oh, yeah. Even so, it doesn't look very appetizing. But,
That's a real bummer because I really like this peanut butter ice cream. I gotta put it off to the side.
Well, not likely. I've got. But to be quite honest, if it's any consolation, the stuff I'm vaping, nothing gans with lager, so there you go.
What you got?
I've got the Flavrz strawberry milkshake. And I've got the King. And I've also got the marshmallow biscuit. That's all I've mixed up at the moment. Oh, hang on. That's it. Marshmallow biscuit. Yep. Sorry, I'm not holding them up for you very well, folks. I'm just... that was the one that I got off the Flavrz that was mixed up. That one's all right. That one was very bitter to start with, but as I've let it stand, it's come out all right. And obviously, this is the one that, yours truly, Alex, made up for us in my little gift box, which is now absolutely steeped to perfection, is the King. But none of them go with beer, I'm afraid.
And I'm going to have to tweak our settings here in OBS because I've noticed now that it's a little out from where it should be.
Out? As in out, or?
As it needs more cropping. You see the DJ in the right-hand corner?
No, because it's all me at the moment.
Yeah, but in the right-hand corner where the color bars are for the music, your logos are on the top right-hand side.
Ah, yeah, I see. It's half gone, isn't it? I'm with you.
I'll get it right eventually.
It'll come, man. Don't worry, man. I forgot.
Didn't help that Zoom put out a freaking update, added a bunch of apps along the side and everything else. I had to change the capture method because originally it wouldn't capture. Kept doing all kinds of goofy things and cutting itself back. It's like the border, it isn't a 1920 by 1080 image. I don't know what the heck it was. So what ended up happening with your wife's brakes?
We got them fixed.
What did it turn out to be? Do you know?
Corroded pipes.
You were right about that.
2 pipes, complete front to rear, new handbrake cable. But the bummer was, while I was at the garage, when he'd done all the work, he brung it out and the alternator decided to pack up.
Well, at least it did it all in one trip.
Well, he said it was going to cost about 180 quid just for the alternator. So I thought, well, I've just paid out £240 to get the brakes done. I said, just bring it home for now. So after a bit of deliberation, I decided to do it myself, and I got a reconditioned alternator with a 12-month warranty for 80 quid. And I fitted it myself. The only thing with minis is the power steering is electric. So when the alternator went, the bloody power steering went. So that was a to get back. But yeah, I've got the alternator on, and I'm glad to say she's back up and running. Happy days. So
yeah, we had that problem with the alternator on our van when we were out camping the one time. Literally died while we were in the middle of a camping trip, and I pulled in, they tested it, and they're like, "Oh, you got a bad diode in there, but as long as it doesn't stop on the winding with the bad diode, you'll be fine." So I said, "All right." We babied it until we got home and got on eBay. I got myself a brand new alternator for $86. The cheapest one they had at the auto parts store was $180.
Yeah, but like I say, BMW, Mini now are now BMW over here. They're owned by BMW. So, BMW, you're looking at money.
You're going to pay out the wazoo for that anyway.
You know what I mean? So, it's not the good old Austin Mini like it used to be in the good old days. It's now BMW. So
yeah, the father-in-law from my first marriage, he was a BMW mechanic, and man, I don't understand how he could afford to drive the BMW, because it's like the parts alone are 2 or 3 times what a regular vehicle is.
It's still pretty much the same, It's again, it's like hitty missy because some parts are cheap and some parts aren't. You know what I mean? It's weird. But generally, as a rule of thumb, they're pretty expensive.
Yes.
But it's up and running. Everybody's happy bunny at the moment, so happy days.
That's all that counts. Getting back on the road.
My daughter got a driving license today. She applied for a driving license, her first driving license, which is absolutely buzzing, because not only is it a driving license, but it's a source of ID over here as well, because obviously got your date of birth on. Because when she goes to the shop, she can't get served for adult, goods, shall we say. And now she's buzzing, so she can go to the shop and buy. It's basically a booze. She used to always send me. I mean, it's not like like spirits and everything. She likes Strongbow cider and all that stuff. She likes a bit of Strongbow cider, and it was always me having to go to the shop to get them. But now she's got ID and she can go herself. So she's absolutely buzzing over that. She's well chuffed.
That's awesome.
I'm just saying it'll be a matter of time now before she's starting to hint on for driving lessons, no doubt. So,
Yeah, well, my daughter's at that stage already now. She's got her learner's permit to drive, and she's out there learning the fundamental skills on the road, getting her experience underneath her belt.
as William Dobson's put there, aptly it's a booze license. Yep.
Yep.
I mean,
Not in our country. Our country's 21.
Like I say, it's the learn to drive. It's the insurance that costs a fortune for learners and new drivers. It's ridiculous. The premiums are just cost the absolute earth.
Yeah, the insurance premiums are ridiculous.
It is a shame.
But think about the fact that it's based on risk. So,
well, this is it.
Who's likely to get into an accident?
Well, all the premiums over here, I don't know if it's the same for you, but if you're under 25, your premiums are sky high. It's when you get over 25, then they start to drop, unless
you're married.
Unless, you've had a good driving history up to that age, and then it might come down a bit beforehand. But I reckon most accidents are in that age group, So, yeah, it's going to be a high risk, obviously. Definitely.
All right, how about we jump into another recipe?
We've all been there when we started driving, man. We've all been there.
A coffee-based recipe, a cappuccino-based recipe. And this is Flavrz 1, 2, 3, 4 series. We've got Maca's coffee, which I've done myself in a Hunky Vape coffee that he developed for me. Marshmallow custard, we found that out to be a wonderful flavor that is present right on the very first toot of it.
Yes.
Vanilla swirl and whipped cream. So we're going to mix up a little batch of this. I'm going to go straight with the 60 ml bottle.
Right.
And it's surprising, this is only 8.62% for this recipe.
Coffee. Maca's coffee. Ooh. By our wonderful friends at Flavrz. I haven't heard anything from the guy. Is it Darren that's over there? I haven't heard from him for a while.
Yeah, I haven't heard from him either. He left a comment on our last. He watched the replay.
Oh, he watches the replay. I see it's early over there, isn't it? They're where they are in their part of the world.
Yeah, I keep wanting to do a show in the evening, but Wendy Vapes is on Monday nights. Trying to find an evening slot that's available. I'm not stepping on anybody's toes.
That's the thing now, because there's that many live shows going out now. It's just phenomenal. I think that's what it is. It's even here with the reviewers. You'll find a lot of them are doing more live shows than what they're actually doing reviews. But then again, like I say about Chinese New Year as well, so that's been a bit of a quiet spell with them guys. They'll have all buggered off and they'll not be coming back to work.
Whipped cream from Flavrz. I have a TFA whipped cream. I don't seem to have. Not in a big bottle.
Is there any truth in that? Like when the Chinese go off to celebrate the New Year, like most of the factories and everything shut down. And they go off to wherever they live and that and whatever, but they don't actually have to go back to the original job they've left. They can just go to a totally different job.
Yes, I've heard that for years now. I never knew that until I got into the vaping scene and started listening to these podcasts and stuff and these vlogs from people and talking about it. Apparently that's the way it goes. They literally shut all the factories down for the Chinese New Year. Yeah. And if you think about it from a societal standpoint, this is something they acclimated to for the purpose of being the most efficient.
Yeah, man.
It gives the Chinese an opportunity to retool certain percentage of their factories to create new things if there's no longer a need for them to be where they're at.
That's what I'm saying. But them workers that left aren't necessarily the workers that'll come back. You know what I mean? It's weird. Oh,
We froze for a second.
yeah, I've just seen that there.
And I know exactly what's causing it now. It's the weather API. I changed the weather API from updating, like once a minute to updating once an hour.
Got you.
And the thing is, because I've got the UK weather and the Pittsburgh weather, they're synced at the same time. I'm going to try changing one of them to sync every 55 minutes and then one to sync every hour. Because I think they both update at the same time and they both try to write to a file at the same time. And that's what causes the hiccup.
There's a little gap in between the update. Yeah. Interesting.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's a brilliant idea. I mean, see, years ago they used to do it here, like especially for the Christmas holidays. We used to have what they called a factory shutdown, where we'd actually shut down for 2 weeks. Everything would be shut for 2 weeks over the Christmas period. But that's all gone now because obviously Christmas is more commercialized now, and they literally have you shop until the last minute now. But we used to
when I was growing up, my dad worked at Ford. He was a millwright there, and they would shut the factory down every year to retool for the new model. And they would have to go in and obviously change the assembly line and add or remove stations for different components based on how many components they need to build an actual motor.
But like I say, it was called, I think it was Factory Fortnight. That's what it was called. Factory Fortnight. Everything shut down. Hello and welcome, I hope I'm not that name up. Mowgli Vape. How are you doing, sir or madam? Have you
Mowgli Vapes.
Mowgli Vapes. How are you?
He said he got a brake lines patched in his 2008 Chevy. Mechanic said that the rockers are rotted on both sides. They're part of the subframe, so he said he'll fix. The fix is to sell it. Damn shame. 30,000 miles on the motor, 15 on the turbo, and they got to sell it.
Wow.
I think it's a damn shame that the auto manufacturers are allowed to put out vehicles like that. Like I said, I had a 93 Escort GT. There wasn't a spot of rust on it anywhere except where the axle was bolted to the frame. And it had to be replaced. And like I said before, I got a 2000 Excursion out in the street. Has less rust on it than a 2008 Escape in the driveway. Floorboards in the 2008 vehicle are gone.
Wow.
Sickening.
It's I think they're just getting daft now anyway with cars.
Somebody posted something on Facebook the other day about refrigerators. Back in the day when we were growing up as refrigerators, those refrigerators would outlast us. Nowadays, you buy a refrigerator and guaranteed something's going to break on it 3 days after the warranty's up.
See, in them days, things were built to last, my friend. They were built to last.
It's the way it should be.
I'm just dreading this, well, I'm not in a sense. Well, I am, and I'm embracing technology, but this stuff with electric cars, right? The Teslas and all that stuff, right? The thing that, like you said, you still need electricity to charge them, right? So while we've still got coal-powered generators or electrical plants, you're still burning fossil fuels to produce electricity. So that's kind of how that little bit argument out the window. And then the talk about the batteries. What are we going to do with all these batteries when they die?
Reformulate them.
They're actually recyclable or
yeah, they can be recycled and repurposed. They're not going to have the energy capacity that they originally did. But it's like aluminum. When you put out aluminum, brand new, fresh made aluminum costs a bunch to make because it's freshly mined and purely processed.
Yeah.
But you can take old aluminum and reformulate it with your new product. Melt it down, blend it with some new raw material, and batteries can be done the same thing.
It just seems a weird thing to be going. I mean, I've driven one before. They're weird because they're very quiet.
Yeah, that's probably the hardest part to get used to.
Especially obviously you guys are in the States when you've got these nice V8s and they've got that lovely growl, and then you jump from one of them into an electric car and think, where's my engine gone? What happened there? You know what I mean? Plus, like you say, okay, electric, what's going to happen? I mean, I've seen a program where there was a guy, he was, all your old classic cars, he was putting electric motors in them as to preserve the classic cars. And honestly, it was very, very clever idea. He was still keeping the original, as much of the original car as he could, all instruments, all that kind of stuff, but converting them to electric. It was really clever. Maybe that's the way to go for electric cars, to preserve, for classic cars to preserve them, because obviously, if we do go fuel free, then there's, you're not going to be able to run them, are you?
It's just a matter of time. You know, we're going to have electricity coming out the wazoo, and it's going to be able to be produced in an environmentally friendly way. It isn't just, you know, solar panels and windmills that we have going on. It's just a matter of time before fusion technology advances to the point where that's going to be the game changer.
I think at the moment the cleanest way is nuclear or something at the moment, but obviously nuclear is that's the big word, isn't it?
Did you hear about Elon Musk wanting to create a nuclear plant in China?
Mm-hmm.
And had to go for a while. They were literally going to be using spent fuel from other nuclear plants in his new plant. That's going to be the fuel that's going to power it. The entire reactor is underground. So worst case scenario, if something happened, down the road, it would all be underground. They could literally cover the whole thing, bury it. It wouldn't be an issue like Chernobyl or anything like that.
I mean, that's the way it's supposed to be. But when you think about it, even everything's, even though stuff's underground, it's safe, but technically it's still causing some kind of harm in it.
Yeah, but if you look at it from the aspect of what we have now, like 3 Mile Island is above ground. All these facilities are above ground. You get any kind of leak and it's going to go into the atmosphere, and then the wind currents are going to push it to who knows how far. That isn't an issue for his new plants that he was going to build.
See, there's the recipe for the zombie apocalypse. Be a nuclear explosion underground, and all the corpses will rise from the grave.
I saw something in my news feed about the molten mantle inside our planet is changing.
Really?
Michael Redfern, hello and welcome to your lunch hour.
Hi, Michael.
That can involve a whole crap ton of problems. Shifts in the magnetic fields.
Oh, yeah. Implosion. Boom.
I have a hard time understanding the physics that would allow the center of the planet to actually come out. Too much crust surrounding it. But if it shifts and it moves internally, that's going to change the orbit and the tilt of the Earth.
It's going to change the axis of the planet, isn't it?
Yeah.
So hopefully...
The season, summer and winter, it'll all be different.
Yeah. Hopefully it won't be like the Caribbean over here, and you'll be like bringing the North Pole over there. Hey, I'm all for that.
Listen, our latitude's not that far apart. You know what I mean?
We get all your bloody bad weather coming over the big pond to us. We get all your weather. Literally.
Speaking of weather, let me see how my button's working. Let's bring up the weather for both of us.
It's not too bad over here, actually.
Big thumbs up, because that's all working the way it's supposed to.
Yeah. It's not too bad over here. I think it was about 7 degrees average today.
Yeah, you're warmer than we are.
Again, wow!
It's snowing outside.
Oh my God, old Blighty's warmer than the States. What can I say? We're getting a bit. It's a bit windy. Like we've got a bit of a. I do follow the weather. Like on the telly, we've got a big lump of low pressure. Always causing a bit of wind at the minute. But
we had some massive wind the other night. Had a cold front come through. There was real no precipitation, but the winds, my God, the gust had to have been 50, 60, 70 miles an hour.
Really? Wow.
Middle of the night.
correct my geography, right? Because I'm not really great on American geography. How far are you away from New York? Are you north or south?
Just barely south.
South New York. I had a feeling you were.
We're actually west of the state of New York. Well, part of it. It's like, here's New York. Pennsylvania is below it and shifted off to the left.
Gotcha. So how long would it say for you to jump in the car and drive to New York? How long would it take you?
4 hours.
How long?
4 hours.
That all? Bloody hell.
Yeah.
That's
We've
close
gone to
enough.
Erie, Pennsylvania, which is actually on the same line as the bottom of New York, but it's actually a little notch up in the top corner of Pennsylvania.
It was just closer than I thought, that's all. Right?
Yeah, we've
Wow.
gone camping there before.
Holy moly.
Now, to get to the other side of, Pennsylvania, that's a longer drive. I mean, you're talking in 8 hours to get across the state.
God, I bet. Well, big state,
But
wasn't it?
height-wise, you're only 4 hours.
Wow. Where Michael Redfern is, it's 2.5 hours to New York from where he is. I'm not sure where he's from, but there you go. He's 2.5 hours away from New York. Well, that must be what? Hang on. From Newcastle to London to drive 3 to 4 hours? And it's about what? 350 miles? Something around that? Depending which way you go, That's 300 miles, run about there.
We're only 45 minutes from the Ohio state line.
But then again, over there, you've just got these nice, long, winding roads, haven't you? There's no traffic lights, there's no junctions, there's no roadworks, there's no buses, there's no fucking...
Well, it depends on where you're at. I mean...
I think it's just the TV that gives you that false impression, and you see movies where people go on road trips and they're just out on this road in the middle of nowhere and there's not a soul, you know what I mean?
Oh, you go to the center part of America? Yeah, that's what it's like. It's like Australia.
Yeah.
Just flat for miles. I remember helping a friend of ours move from Pennsylvania to Texas, northern panhandle of Texas. Yeah. And we drove the moving truck down there. It was a lot cheaper to rent one than it was to pay somebody to come in and do it all. And we would literally be driving for hours. And away in the distance, you could clearly see a town way off in the distance. We started our trip after we had dinner. 1 o'clock in the morning, we're driving. 3 o'clock in the morning, that town is still way off in the freaking distance. Drove for 2 hours.
Wow.
Came across a bunch of little towns.
Yeah.
But that big city that we could clearly see,
just not getting anywhere closer.
And then all of a sudden, it was like we hit the 2.5 hour mark and we were in the town, and 15 minutes later we were out of the town and there was another dimly lit city far off in the distance.
Yeah. Wow. Holy shit. Michael Redfern, he says at the top of Delaware. There you go. I don't know that, but I'm sure Alex does.
Yep.
A lot of people
Mowgli
always
Vape says it's 34 and sunny in Massachusetts.
Well, I didn't read that one because I knew you was just going to have the last lap on me, so I just didn't touch that one.
AKA Masshole. That's the nickname for the state.
Wow. Wish we had that temperatures again. Wish summer couldn't come quick enough for us, I'm telling you. But I kind of grumbled up, and now it's been reasonably mild, so...
Yup, the U.S. is a big country. It takes 1 week, sun up to sundown, at the speed limit from one coast to the other.
Speed limit.
Yeah, but the speed limit out west is, most of the speed limits nowadays have moved up to 70, 75.
Miles per hour, kilometers, because obviously...
Miles per hour.
I see Australia kilometers, aren't they?
Canada is as well.
Canada kilometers.
America refuses to adopt the metric system.
Yeah, now that. Tell us about it. Freaking out my days in engineering. Ye lot. Jesus.
William Dobson says it's 5 Celsius in London.
Yeah, not bad. See, I'll tell you, we weren't too bad. Aye, bloody Americans, you love your imperial, your inches, your feet, and all that stuff. My God.
It's one thing from the British that we never shed.
It's the amount of times in engineering we had to convert American drawings to metric was unbelievable.
Hey, bastard, hello and welcome.
I beg your pardon?
I am running out of paper finally. This is still the first roll. The Late Night Show, Mongo 100, and Birdman 69.
Yeah, man. Awesome.
Time to replace that roll.
Yeah, like I said, being busy.
And all of this stuff gets uploaded to the Discord server. There's a link in the description below. Feel free to join it. I didn't really add anything to it this week because there really wasn't anything worth putting up as far as news or science bits. Mallory Gates did post a couple things in there, some funny funnies. There's also a wonderful recipe in there under the Good Eats. And last week, Kenny posted a beautiful tips and tricks for mixing in there. Compilation on a bunch of flavors. Flavor assessments.
Yeah, whatever you do, don't print it. It's about 800 pages, so don't print it.
But it is fantastic to flip through and get to know, like if you've got flavor profiles or flavoring ingredients and you want to know what the actual profile is that somebody else, when they've single flavor tested it, you can go and look that up on there.
Wow. Yeah, but kudos to that, man. He must have had patience of a saint to do all that.
Listen, I'm working on building that myself. Every mixer out there eventually does that to some extent or another. But yeah. I got an Excel sheet set up on there, and when I single flavor test something, I go in there and I document those single flavor testings. And, you know, use that as a reference when I go to mix something.
Yeah, I could say it's like for a reference, it's spot on, isn't it? You know what I mean? But that was one big book.
Yeah, essentially, it's basically duplicating what's on ELR or all the flavors. But I figure I'm going to do it on an Excel sheet because you never know on one of these websites is just going to pop up and disappear. How many other things have just, disappeared along the way?
Well, there's a lot of stuff gone in it. I mean, the steam engine's still going. That's like a mixing, building site. That's still going, is it? The coil building site, and it does all the calculations and stuff for you.
Mallory Gates, hello and welcome.
Hello. Well, we're finishing now. See you, Mary.
Look, it's either me or them. You're getting fucked one way or the other.
Wrong button.
Funny joke, Mary.
Wrong button.
I don't know.
I had things, color coded too, so it'd be easier to spot things.
Could be a good suggestion.
You're late. For what?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
That's the one I wanted to push.
Just put MG for it, because that'll be for Mallory Gates. Just put MG on it. Just call it the MG.
Nah. She's not the only one that shows up late. There's lots of other people, and don't feel bad. I mean, life comes first.
Dedicated button, right, just for you. Yeah, Mallory.
That's the show of appreciation for you guys out there advocating for vaping.
Mallory, yes, that is not a pint of snot he's drinking, by the way. You watch on the replay, but he's not drinking snot. I can assure you.
Lacto cooler.
Holy moly, man. Happy days.
It's a green snot ale. Sweet like a wine cooler.
Is it not like them? I don't know, like them sweet popsicle things you get, you know, that taste like pop, but they've got a big alcohol content, and when you go out, you're like, whoa.
It's only 5.9%, so it's not like it's a whole lot of alcohol to it, but
like, if you had about, I don't know, 4 or 5 of them, and you just drank them like pop, you know, and obviously went outside and the old fresh air hit you, and the big man with the mallet went dink on your head, you know, hey, that's it, you know, you got.
It's too sweet. I don't think that anybody could guzzle this or chug this like, you know, regular beer.
They'll probably end up coming out back up rather than going back out.
And then get a food aversion to it.
Yeah.
You know, when you're a brand new snot-nosed kid and your first opportunity to actually get some drinking in, and you don't want to touch any of the hard stuff because you're scared of it. You start off something simple like a wine cooler.
Hell no.
And you just pound those things out.
Hell no. Hell no.
All right, so back in our day, it was Mad Dog 2020.
No. Back in my day, it was raid mum and dad's drink cabinet. That's what it was in my day.
Get your ass beat.
The concoctions we used to mix, I'm surprised we're still alive after drinking some of the stuff we drank. Unbelievable.
Dr. Pepper and Southern Comfort.
We literally used to get a bottle and put a little bit of whiskey, a little bit of vodka, a little bit of sherry, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of that, and that was what you drank. It was rocket fuel. Tasted disgusting, but the aim was to get drunk, and you didn't care how, you just drank it. That was
Hungarian
the name
Palinka. It's essentially Hungarian moonshine.
Exactly.
Made like a brandy.
Ooh, damn.
The alcohol content in there was way up there, but it left you with this nice smooth finish depending on what it was made of. Pears or apples or cherries, plums.
I think with me, with spirits, it's like when you've had a session on whatever, whether it be a bourbon, a whiskey, and, you know, you get drunk on that particular spirit and you feel like shit and your world has ended the next morning and, you know, you're puking like a billy goat and you just do not touch it again, do you? That's the way I'm at with spirits. Like, you know, like, I ain't, so there you are.
That's what she called it. Trash can punch.
Yeah. You hide everything in. That's it. Trash can punch.
All of our parents had a massive collection of alcohol. It's like, you know, they were like the socialites of the modern century or something. You know, they had liquor cupboards full of all different things to offer to whatever guest might stop over.
You think about, we didn't have social media, internet, then we talk to each other over a drink in them days. You know what I mean? That was your social life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you would come over for dinner or something.
Yeah.
Or even if you just popped in for a visit or something, and then they always had to make you something while you were there. That was the old European custom as well. You always had to have some kind of, you know, treats to hand out to them. Can I make you a coffee? You want a drink? You want a beer? What can I get you?
Exactly. That was our social media in them days.
Yeah, that's how you learn about everything.
That's when people talk to each other. Don't know.
That's why I say people don't have the attention span like they used to. You know, I've been told by many people, you know, well, what are you doing, a 3-hour vlog? That's just too long. It's too long. I'm like, listen, I know it's too long for somebody to watch the whole thing through, but you have to have conversation. You know, you can't just throw a 10-second video out there that's, you know, teaching you how to take the brake pads off a car.
Mm-hmm.
You can't learn DIY mixing just like that.
Well, that's why we got this TikTok, isn't it? Short videos, quick attention grabbing, done. Right, next one. That's the way it is now, isn't it? It's just weird, man.
Yeah, the whole world has gotten to be like that now.
Social, like I say, the internet and social media is just, although the big World Wide Web can be good, it can also be bloody do a lot of harm as well, in my eyes. Like, and at the moment, it seems to be more harm than good.
Yeah, but the younger generations don't see it like that.
No,
they love this new source of entertainment where you don't have to like focus on something for a long period of time.
No, that's exactly it. It's just, I think it's just ruined a lot of things. Myself, like, you know,
it's a big distraction to keep the population at bay.
Oh, Well, like I say, nowadays I was never in the house. I was out all the time, playing, doing whatever. Get up.
Yeah, somebody posted a picture on Facebook from a picture of our front yard back in the younger days. If you had a pile of bikes in your front yard, that's where everybody was hanging out.
Oh, yeah. Used to ride for miles when we were kids, man. Just going all hour.
Yeah. All right, time for us to get to our retro vape.
I'll tell
And there we go.
I'm looking forward to this, like, because it's a YIHI, you know, and I'm a big YIHI fan.
This is the first YIHI product that I've ever gotten my hands on. And there've been many times when I'm sitting here doing stuff, and it's like at the end of the day, I'm like, man, I would love to just rip this thing open and find out how good this thing really is. Is this thing, as good as a DNA board? And here's the tank that came with it.
The boards are pretty similar. DNA and YIHI they're pretty similar. They were the big competitors over the years, weren't they? They were the two manufacturers to catch in their day.
It's a stock coil tank that they give you with it. Kind of disappointing because when you look on the box, it says stainless steel. Well, that's the color of the tank, not the coils. They gave you 2 coil options, Canthal and Nichrome.
Well, that was the day, back in the day.
But if you are selling yourself something with a YIHI board in it that excels at temperature control, you wouldn't include a stainless steel coil?
Yeah.
Free Ride Vapor, hello and welcome.
Hey, Free Rider, how you doing? Yeah, I can see, but, back in the day, that was the thing, wasn't it?
This was also the end of the heydays. Like I said, this thing's only, 2 years old or something? Mike Vapes did a review on it 2 years, 3 years ago, max.
Yeah. The thing I found with some of the earlier YIHI, especially the J Class 1, was some of the menu systems were so bloody complicated. Thankfully, the J Class 2 is a little bit more simple, but with the J Class 1, they had menus, you had sub-menus, you had sub-sub-menus, Generally, you probably wouldn't have to go into them, but God, they were there, though, nah.
But the one advantage that I got, or at least the impression that I have of it, is that the YIHI stuff put out an app so you could control it with your phone. You didn't have to hook it up to a computer and download a piece of software.
Oh God, you can do that, but it's that's how they've done it with the J Class 2. Now that it's you don't actually update it by plugging it into your computer on the internet. They've actually developed an app.
Mm-hmm.
That's like kind of sidestepping all the laws and shit that the American YouTubers and exactly are coming in with. You know what I mean? It's like a loophole, shall we say.
Interesting how they gave you these plastic stick-ons to put on the bottom of the mod.
Yeah.
To make sure you didn't scratch up your furniture with it.
They've been known for the paint to come off them easily as well, to be honest with you. Some of the mods. That's what they're for. Stop your paint chipping. Because the J Class 1, there's literally no paint on that bottom door now. With it being open and shut, it's literally gone.
No markings on the inside of that. Just on the lid.
Yeah, it's pretty much a bug.
That was a standard back in the day, too. I mean, we've gotten spoiled nowadays. The way they do the markings on these things.
Even the new J Class is similar. It's still got the plus and the minus on the top. I think it's got at the bottom, but it's not like a red cross and a blue line.
And still the micro USB connection.
Yeah.
But look at how thick this manual is.
Hi, but there's about 50 different languages. It looks alright. It looks, I like the shape. It's got that G-class shape, you know, the oval type of shape that to, like, you know, to get your hand running. It's a similar shape of the old G-class models.
Oh, I love the feel to it. And it's not straight up and down on the side. There's actually an indentation.
Yeah.
You know, it goes in a little bit here. This is flatter in the middle than rounder on the top. That is really ergonomic in the hand.
Valerie Gates said, do I have Twitter? I do. To be honest with you, Mallory, I'm very rarely on it, like, but I do have a Vape and Heed account with Twitter. That's probably the problem with me, with me channel, you know. I don't push it. I think the early days when I used to do a review, you know, you'd upload your video and all that to YouTube, then you copy the link and hide on Twitter, you copy the link and hide on Facebook, you copy the link and hide on Instagram, and you know, I just thought it'd become a chew on, you know what I mean? And maybe it's something I should have pursued more, but I just got tired of doing it. Because at the end of the day, sometimes the feedback that you got of posting on other social media was pretty much non-existent anyway, so...
Well, Twitter got to be really, really popular and really, really active because of Trump.
Yeah.
You know, people that had never, ever considered getting on Twitter were getting on there because of him.
Well, obviously, you know, of that man. He's back on it now, isn't he? He's got his ban lifted, apparently. That was Mr. Musk, you know, he said, oh, freedom of speech and all that, let him back on. Okay, you reap the seed that
freedom
you
of speech, except for when you're talking about vaping and then you get everything suppressed.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not that it's been banned, but it certainly isn't shared widely like other things.
Yeah, just, you know, I think it's a matter of time before Twitter follows suit, the same as Facebook, etc. You know, it will get banned eventually on there, like everything else.
Yeah. A lot of the stuff that's been released and been said out of it lately says that the government has been in the background pulling the strings on these social media platforms on what to promote and what not to promote.
Of course they are.
You know, as a funding aspect of things, you know, this isn't just pharmaceutical companies that are paying for advertising on the platform that say, we don't want our ads, you know, anywhere near something that talks about this or talks about that.
Definitely, yeah. And obviously, you know, these guys rely on ad revenue. That's what they get paid for, don't they? So, you know.
I mean, from that aspect of things, it makes perfect sense. It's just... There's a wonderful program I watched on Netflix a while back about social media's influence on society. And these were actually the developers, a lot of these platforms, Instagram and Google and Calendar, and they were on there talking about how when they got started, you know, they were like, you know, this is the greatest thing in the world. And, you know, we got these algorithms that automatically give people what they want, which means we'll make more money and they'll see what they want. And it's twisted into something totally different than what they originally planned on. And they're concerned for how much influence it actually has on society.
It's run by the hierarchy, man. It's as simple as that. You know, it's the same with the media. Your governments they're practically running it, man. You know, it's the same thing with social media. They've got the hand in the pot, like, you know what I mean? I mean, for example, right? There's a big thing over here in the UK about online bullying and all that stuff through your Facebooks and all that, right? So you're thinking, well, if these giant social media companies can ban this, ban that, why can't they have more control on what, like the teens are kind of doing on these social medias? Because it was my understanding, I don't know if I've got this wrong, but you had to be like 18 to go on these things, and yet they're all run by teenagers. So I don't know. It's a weird one, because they're all saying that these big social media companies should be taking account for all the stuff that's going on, but nobody in this planet will ever control what goes on the internet. Never. It's just too big. Can't police it. But on the other side of the coin, over here they can ban, like I say, vaping videos, vaping products. Can't sell vaping this, can't buy vaping that. And then they'll ban torrent sites, sharing sites, obviously copyright crap, like Pirate Bay, they'll ban that. But they can't control other stuff, and I think it's a bit, hypocritical. They let through what they want to let through, in my eyes, like.
Yeah, that surprises me that, that they took as long as they did, number one, and number two, how thoroughly they've eliminated all of those pirating sites now.
Yeah. Gone.
Let's not even get into the conversation about how they changed copyright laws, that they only, it used to be like patents, they only expired, after so many years, and now it's literally exponentially been raised how long copyright lasts. 70 years past the death of the author or the originator.
It's they've got it's got a lot of sorry, there can't be words with it. It's got a lot to answer for, without a doubt. But you'll never ever be able to police it, not in a million years. But it's just so convenient that they can target specific niches. You know what I mean? Yeah. Big Brother is watching you, people. Big Brother's watching you.
40 to 100 watts, best 50 to 70. This is a Canthal 0.2 ohm coil.
Good old Canthal.
You can see the mesh in there.
You know what it is? I've still got Canthal wire, and I still do the odd build out of Canthal. Do you know that?
And then we have an NI80 0.1 ohm, 40 to 90 watts, best 50 to 70.
Mm.
I'm not going to do things half-assed to get this thing opened up.
0.1 ohms. Woohoo! Lovely.
And that one, it looks like a much finer mesh.
Will be.
Than the 0.2 ohm.
Less resistance, my friend. Less resistance.
That's something else that I've really been impressed with, how they've changed over time, is now the mesh literally goes 360 degrees on the inside of those coils nowadays, the newer mesh coils. These older ones, 270 degrees max.
Yeah.
And there was a big section there that was just sitting there doing nothing.
Yeah. Got the legs much closer together now, haven't I?
Yeah, and the Freemax coils literally have legs on both sides, and it's a parallel mesh. Yeah. Literally goes around one side and then goes around the other side. 360 degree coverage. The coils last longer. The flavor tastes better on them than these older ones.
Well, I think that, with the big mesh, that's a good thing, I suppose. You know what I mean? Gotta be.
Just looking at the diameter difference between the tops. It looks like it's bigger, but it's really not, because the thread size is the same, so the thickness of the wall would be the only difference.
Ah, damn. I've just voted green apple on your vote, and bloody bananas beaten with. I'll go for banana.
That's because we've done green apple before, twice.
No, but will I like it that much?
I like it. I haven't had it in a while, so it doesn't matter to me either way. I haven't had the banana yet, so this is going to be interesting.
Well, put it this way. It was a choice between green apple and musk, and now which way you would gone.
75%.
Exactly.
My goodness.
If musk was on, that's all I'm going to say. The gland in front of the tea is on.
Is that the 450 chip? That's a good question. I am not sure which chip was actually in this.
It will tell you when you fire it up, I think. They used to. Unless there's any information on the packaging without showing it to the public in case of any social media crap.
Interesting how it's got that flickering on there. Sync issue difference.
Yep.
Go for Musk. I still have it here. I still pick it up and try it every once in a while, but
I made all.
That is one of the bottles that I'm sorry, I don't think I will ever finish it.
I wonder why. Just give me a minute, folks.
All right, we're going to take a look at this user manual here. This thing is massive, and it is in multiple languages. It's only 5 languages, but it doesn't give you specifications on what is actually SXIQS1. That's something I'm definitely going to have to look into and get the firmware for it and download the software. See what settings are available in this thing. It doesn't actually tell you. It's your typical generic. Here's how to do this, here's how to do this, here's how to do this. Do you need a microscope to read the manual? Yes. The fine print. Make sure nothing on here. Tiny. And the sad reality is a lot of these places don't have websites after so many years of, you know, the products being out there or after certain things have happened. Perfect example is Sigelli. I did a video about the fact that the Sigelli device, in the box it said that the user manual was available online. Well, when the FDA sent them a warning letter, what was the first thing that they did? There goes the website, which means that anybody that has the product no longer has a user manual to it. Sad reality.
Oops, sorry about that, guy.
Let me look this up.
The call of nature. It always gets us.
We're not as young as we used to be either.
Well, I've always been like that, to be honest with you, because that's how I could drink like a fish. So I'd have a pint, I would be at the toilet straight away. They used to run straight through us. Literally. Right. What I'm going to do, I was going to put this on
SX530 chip. is in this
SX5.
YIHI.
Oh,
That's why the model number is VK530 for Vsticking.
Is that pretty recent at a 530? I'm just
February of 2019 is what I'm seeing here.
not that old, that chip, like. I'm just tying my batteries in my G-Class 2 just to... Let's see how we'll get on here.
I don't see their website anymore. I was going to download the software for it, but
Next.
it's going to be kind of hard to do if their website doesn't exist anymore.
No, because like I say, that it's all the thingy band. They use apps now. It's an app. For the G-Class 2, you've got to do an app to get all your updates and stuff.
Yeah? I got it right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why are you not powering up? I'm going to...
Not only is their website gone, but it's now owned by somebody that looks like they belong in the strip in Thailand. Nothing but your flashing lights and hooters everywhere.
Another one.
I'm going to have to go through my hard drive and see if I downloaded the stuff when I bought this thing. And this bloody button on the front to control it.
Where the hell is that?
And it's just so weird. 3 clicks to turn it to lock it. 3 clicks to unlock it. 5 clicks. Got it into the menu. Compensate temperature, TCR, select coil. Material.
See what I mean with the menus? It's just, oh, it's mad. That's your temp menus, yeah. TCR and all that shit.
Well, there really isn't a whole lot to choose from in here. I mean, yeah, you can go in and manually set, set TCRs or whatever, but
I think it's more of a basic model, that one. Like, it's not like, you see the wallpapers are interesting. How many wallpapers you got on? The classic dial. That's the classic dial of the YIHI. And I can prove that because I'll hold mine up the camera there, and there you go. That's the G-Class 2. It's got the classic dial. That's the classic dial on the YIHI boards. Oh, got it. Oh, it's an option anyway.
well, I think it's time for us to get the banana out.
Come on, go for it. We'll go for the banana.
0.1 or 0.2 ohm? NI80 versus Canthal. What do you say?
Ooh, NI80. All day.
Has better flavor than Canthal.
Yeah. It might give you a good gauge on the tank anyway with a bit of NI80 in.
I don't care for these coils that are like this where they've got a tighter circumference on the top.
Yeah, but I think like as far as YIHI on the interweb, I think they're pretty much. I don't know if they got like hit by some restriction or something. I don't know, but because I know with this latest mod, it's an app. You've got to go through an app to do anything with it. It's got. It does open in a browser, but it's an app. It's not an actual website. So I'm just wondering if they've had some kind of restriction or whatever on it. You know what I mean? Where they can't obviously have a website as such.
I'm wondering if the FDA sent them a warning letter.
Yeah. But yet the DNA, you can still do it. But is that an app? No, it's not app-based, is it? It's web-based, isn't it? Yeah, updates.
That's a program on your computer.
Yeah.
Man, the smell on this banana is so strong. Smells like a candy banana.
Candy, yeah. Most of the bar, to be honest with you.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the top on this is a screw top, but it's like half a turn. 510 drip tip.
I don't know what this one was called.
I'm trying to get this wattage up.
You got to highlight it.
Go. Yeah, highlight it and then hold the button and wait.
Yeah.
It's a pretty menu.
Oh, you can do everything off that display, but obviously if you want to dive in, the sub-menus on some of them is just unbelievable. It's not so bad on the G Class V2, like it's a bit, they've simplified it a bit. I never realised I had this sitting on there.
Different memory settings on here. You can barely see it on the bottom underneath the wattage. I'm like, why is the wattage changing?
I think you've got to click again to come out of it. Which, unless you're going through the memories.
It's so slow to change stuff.
It's got to highlight it, and then you change it. But you also, if you look on your right, you're in powerful mode as well, so it'll be a bit more of a kick on it.
Yeah.
That's a bloody... I noticed I haven't used this for ages. I had the...
The question now is how do you know if you're in temperature control or if you're in wattage mode?
You've got your W, you're in wattage. If you've got the W on, you're in wattage.
This is so awkward to control.
It's a bit easier with the joystick, like, but I mean, the buttons are where it's pain in the arse.
It's got a joystick on it.
My God, I forgot all about this, lad.
This would be a pain if you just bump this thing and it changes.
I think you can lock it, I think, and it'll still run. I've just found my intake dual tank. I haven't used this guy for ages. Like Vape's intake dual. Damn good tank.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I don't care for how restrictive Mike Vapes likes his stuff.
Oh, he likes a nice tight airflow. I mean, you can see I've got his Blaze sitting on top of me J-Class. I've got the Blaze, which was, I think it's one of his more recent renditions.
So you push or hold it in to set the settings.
You press it to highlight it, move it up and down, then press it again to get out of it. There, you're ignoring nothing there now, so it shouldn't move.
Holding it in is setting the resistance.
See, you're scrolling through your power modes there on that one. You're back to wattage. What's the coil you've got there? 0.1?
Yeah. It's supposed to be a 0.1, and it's reading 0.4.
No, just unscrew it and then screw it back on, see if it picks it up. It should pick it up itself.
.45.
Really?
So let's check it out and see how accurate it is.
Just try firing it and see what you get.
We got this 1.18.
Sometimes your resistance, once your coil's soaked, your resistance drops back down a bit, it steadies itself out.
So it reads 0.17 on here, 55 watts.
Ooh. 0.17. 0.17. Oh, what's my little wattage calculator have to say about that? We will have to have a look.
65.
You should
Not 66.6.
No,
you believe that?
0.17. Calculate. 0.17. You should be 76.2 cool, 90 middle, 103.8 warm. It will be the sub-ohm coil. I'll probably stick it between 60 and 70 somewhere. Maybe it's around there.
That's where I run the arbiter at, 65.
Yeah. There's been a sub-ohm. I mean, I don't know what's the tank actually like. Is the tank any good, or is it poor, or?
I don't know yet. I'm still letting it soak.
Yeah.
I was just trying it out with the actual arbiter because I was getting the reading for resistance of 0.4. It's supposed to be a 0.1 ohm coil. This one's 0.17 and it read it correctly. We have a bad coil.
That's strange, because normally when you put a thing on, it'll ask you if it's a new coil, or used to, you know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe it's just a toned down version of that chip, you know what I mean?
This one's reading 0.24.
Could be the coil, like. A good
Nice banana.
I mean, a good example on mine there is like this coil is a 0.1 and mine's reading 0.12, so it's not far away. It's pretty much there. You know what I mean?
Trying to tell if this coil has an off note to it. Like Sigelli coils. When you use a Sigelli coil, there's a definite off note for about half a tank of juice.
Maybe it's just something to do with like, you know, when it gets thoroughly saturated, you know what I mean? It settles down.
Read resistance. Now it's rating 0.3.
Coils all hour, isn't it? Holy moly.
How can it do temperature control accurately if it can't take an accurate resistance? Defaulted to 15 joules.
I'm very surprised because, like I said, the YIHI chips are normally good for reading coils, you know, they're pretty accurate.
Yeah, I can definitely taste there's an off note to this. It's not just banana. It is a beautiful and a sweet banana, like a banana candy.
Yeah.
Makes me want to re-wake the Arbiter and put it in there, or actually grab another one. I've got another one sitting here and load it up in there.
Yeah.
Now it's reading 0.23.
I'm just wondering, like I say, as it's getting more and more soaked, it will change. Michael Redfern has seen he's got to go back to work, so thank you very much for
Thank you, sir.
dropping by.
Appreciate you stopping by. 0.2396 is what it reads. Vape's reading it at a 0.23. Man, is that thing dirty? Holy cow. I need to disassemble this thing and clean it again. That's exactly what I said when I was doing the review on this too. It's just how this is going to collect all kinds of crud when I fixed this thing before.
The day that they get dirty all the time, man. Like everything in it.
Pull the DNA reference mod out, see what it reads it as.
Oh my god, that's so good. I do apologize. I was just indulging in the magnificent flavor of this. It's just, oh god. Yeah. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely tremendous. Dusty Country Road is asking what size is the tank? Is it 28 or 24? Yeah. Probably a 24.
24 or less.
24-ish. It looks a 24, by the way. It's sitting on that mod.
24?
Yeah.
At the base? $29 on the glass, on the bubble glass. And then, like I said, this is a 510 drip tip. 510 bore. What did this read it as?
0.23.
0.23.
Yeah. Must be where it is. The coil must be out a bit because you've got, what, 3 mods there reading that now?
Well, isn't that interesting? There's no off node. On this.
Go to your power modes on the YIHI and drop it down from powerful to standard. Because I think the powerful mode acts like a wattage boost on the DNAs, so it could just be pumping it a bit more. If you scroll over to your power mode and get it down to standard if you can.
Standard.
And then get your wattage to where you want it. Yeah, round about standard, and then get your powers where you want it. Because like I said, that power plus is like a it's like a wattage boost on a DNA. You know what I mean? It gives it a little extra kick.
And it's cycling through the memories.
Yeah. It does. It's part and parcel of it because you can save it as that memory profile if you want to call up your memory. Standard. Ooh, 200 watts, rock and roll. Yeah, get it at standard and get your wattage down, and then that should do the job. Maybe a bit better.
So there's no wattage control in temperature control.
There should be.
Because it still says it's NI 200 on the left.
I'll still pick up the material of your coil.
It's an NI 80 coil.
No, but has it got NI 80 on the mod? That's what I'm saying. It might just pick something near. Oh, let's have a look on mine. Where we? See, because like my settings on this one, it comes under M1. But I don't save it as a memory setting. It's just M1. That's just the way it works.
Man, this joystick is just a pain in the butt to actually maneuver. It keeps wanting to cycle through the memory settings. What a pain.
It takes a bit to get used to, I'll be honest.
Wait for it to time out. Well, yeah, check atomizer because you don't have anything attached. Now it reads 0.26.
It's getting there though.
Off note's gone. Beautiful candied banana.
I like it, like that powerful plus mode is probably more for like, you know, like a build deck rather than a sub ohm. Was it just
the smock mods have that boost mode too.
Yeah, it's just a boost thing. I don't know if it's just like the ramp, you know, it gives you a quicker ramp or not, but sometimes, like I say, it can be too much for the coil, you know what I mean?
It's like a preheat function.
Yeah, sometimes it just ends up burning your juice before you even get a lung full of it, you know?
That would explain the off note.
Yeah. But that NI200, I'm just wondering if that's still in temp mode.
Yeah.
I don't think it should. I think when you do that, I think that's temp mode. Pardon me. When you go back to your main screen, see if you can like joystick over to the NI200 and see if you can change it through that.
It's right here in the menu.
Well, you should be on. You should be on wattage mode. It should come up with a W, I believe, when you're on wattage mode.
Well, the coil options that they give you is nickel 200, titanium, and stainless steel 316.
That'll be for temp. It'll be picking that up for temp cuts. The only option it's got. That's why I'm just wondering if it's still in temp mode. Because that NI200 should be a W if it's in wattage. Which I would imagine if you highlight it up on the main screen, it might let you go through the mode as such on that under that.
You go to the left, it doesn't go to the left.
It's not highlighted.
You go to the right, it goes to standard.
Highlights that in red, and then it'll highlight your wattage, but it doesn't highlight the coil.
It's just cycling through the memory settings.
Because you haven't got it out highlighted there. You've got to press it to highlight it.
Up, adjusted up, down, adjusted down.
Yeah.
Right goes to standard.
It's not highlighting that coil at all. That SS3
can't go to the left. Push it once, goes to the wattage. Go to the left, it exits out of the highlight. It's like it's temp only. Press it once to go to joules. Temperature 395. 55 watts.
Can't be temp control for them, surely to God.
Beats me.
There's another
Mary Nixon, hello and welcome.
Hi, Mary. I was out in the destruction manual going through the modes.
That's what I'm looking at.
Got to be a way to come out of that. That looks like it's in temp control. I was picking a coil, innit?
It's powered by the YIHI SX530 chip. Output wattage 5 to 200 watts. Output wattage is lower than 200 when the load resistance is too large. Wattage in dual operation mode. Standard resistance is 0.1 ohm to 3 ohms. The screen size is there. Maximum input current, 32 amps. Output, 50 amps. Automatic battery balancing. Joule mode is 10 to 120 joules. TCR mode is nickel, titanium, stainless steel 316, stainless steel 304. Clock and calendar. Customized wallpaper, font settings. Standby time is 30 seconds to 180 seconds. Wattage / joule memory setting M1 to M5. Flavor mode, standard, powerful, powerful plus, soft, eco, and SXI QS1. Output accuracy plus or minus 5%.
What's the mod called again? The VK530.
Auto operate. Power on and off. 5 times. Fire button to turn the device on. 5 times in quick succession to enter the menu. Then select system off by pressing the adjusting the joystick. Enter button to confirm settings. Push the joystick to the left for 3 seconds to switch between novice and advanced modes. Novice mode. Wait for it to time out. What is it changing? The menu, the M memory settings are now, you only get an M. You don't get M1 or whatever.
That stain, that I'm sure that coil shouldn't be shown, that stainless steel one. What the hell's all that about?
After entering the novice mode, press joystick to turn typeface of wattage becomes red. Then the wattage parameter can be adjusted by pushing the joystick up or down. That's what it did before. Advanced mode, press the joystick to turn typeface of parameter becomes red, then press the joystick again to switch between power, joule, and temperature. Push the joystick up or down to adjust the settings. Push the joystick to the left to flash memory from M1 to M5. Keep pushing the joystick down for 3 seconds to switch to bypass mode.
You want that power setting. That's the one you want. You want to get onto that power setting for your wattage mode. And that'll take you out of temp.
Press the joystick for 5 seconds to reset the resistance. Then it goes into the menu operations, how to upgrade the firmware. And that's it.
That part where you covered, where you press it to get power. That's the mode you want to be in for your wattage power.
Did that. There's a problem with this firmware because take a look at it. It's just still changing all this stuff. It's like it's cycling through the memory without showing you that it's cycling through the memory. I tap the button, it highlights that. If I go to the left, it exits the highlight. There is no straight up power.
Let's have a look.
That is just wild.
Let's have a look at this. Have a look at this, see what we'll get here. Oh man, back off.
I pull into your driveway, it's a Saturday night. You look like $1,000,000 wearing that dress I like.
Let's fuck that one up, isn't it? What did it say in the instructions about getting the power mode? Because that's kind of where you want to be.
It says to adjust the power. It doesn't say there's a power mode. There's TCR mode. There's a jewel mode, there's a TCR mode, and then the wattage mode is when it says wattage.
That's where you want to be, like, isn't it?
There's our actual test results.
Nothing on there. Oh, there. I'm just having to give it a gander myself, see what the...
And like I said, the website, the manufacturer's website no longer exists. I can't show you what it comes up when you actually type it in there. The stream would become an X-rated stream.
What is your temp? Make sure. Find memory modes.
Take care, William Thompson.
Okay. Take care, Will. Yeah.
It's a comfortable vape. It's beautiful. But the menu on this is just so archaic with that joystick on the front.
There's a lot of people who kind of get away with it, like.
So bumping it doesn't actually change it now that it's stayed and locked in that setting at 55 watts.
Yeah.
It's holding that. Not the battle of the temp control that I thought we were going to have today. I've got a stainless steel coil here ready to throw on here that I was going to swap back and forth between the two of them, but how hard it is to get in here and change the settings on this prevents me from even bothering to explore that avenue today.
Oh. Shut down. Wi-Fi, smart boost, themes.
I'm literally going to have to take, you know, an hour or two to try these out back and forth and compare them and see, you know, how that performs. Does yours have the material on there?
Mine's just in W mode, but like I say, this is the newer one, this, so when you go into temp, it'll show you what the coil is. But even like
interesting how it's not firing.
Some of the menus are just really poor on them.
Well, look at this. I'm pushing the fire button and nothing is happening. 3 clicks, and now it goes into the wall clock.
That's a lock, isn't it?
3 clicks to unlock it. But it's still not firing.
Ugh. What is going on?
Yeah, it unlocked to 5 watts.
That's probably why.
Select the wattage. Bump it up to 50, 55. KVS Vapes, hello and welcome.
Hello, KVS Vapes. How are you doing?
We are exploring the Vsticking VK530 mod. And this joystick button on the front is a royal pain in the wazoo. And you set the setting, and it wants to keep changing it based on other memory settings. I'm beginning to understand why everybody was complaining about we don't need temperature control mode in every damn thing that's out here.
Mm-hmm.
It does add a level of complexity to it.
Yeah.
And they got it all wrong. They have a simple mode and they have an advanced mode. But it doesn't help when you're in the simple mode, when it still cycles through memory settings, it just doesn't tell you that it is.
Hmm. Maybe like you say.
Yeah, not my first choice. This was my foray in trying to find a YIHI board to try.
Maybe you need to find a bit of time to play about with it. Because if you're not used to them, they can look very complicated, very daunting, and you know, you can be all over on them. And like I say, a lot of people, the joystick, they just don't like. You know, it's a bit like Marmite. You either love it or you hate it, you know. But you know, if you take a bit of time later on and have a bit of fuck about with it, you know, you might find.
I'm going to, and I'm going to thoroughly test it out. You know, I'm going to compare the temperature on both of them. I'm going to take that stainless steel coil, pop it on here, try it out. I'm going to try it on the DNA reference mod. I'm going to try it on the smock, and because I want to be able to test these devices out, especially now that I got this freaking tank off of there. The Fat Rabbit. Quarter turn to remove the deck.
Yeah, but the O-ring well put together.
But that banana, that squeezed banana is fantastic. I can highly recommend that. Darren.
Thank you very much.
KVS Vapes, hello. Thank you. It popped it up before it changed the text. Here you go again. Cheers, gentlemen. Remember that KVS Vapes is a she.
I do.
Awesome. Thank you for the super chat.
Awesome. Very, very much appreciated.
And we're back to double printing super chats. Comes up with my logo this time.
I mean, you know, I'm not bragging or anything, but this YIHI board is just sublime.
Hey, I keep pushing the wrong button.
That is just sublime, mother.
Let's see yours.
Sorry?
Hold yours up to the camera.
Okay.
Let people see.
There is a big total difference, like.
You have the single button, you have the joystick control.
Yep. And there's my little clock coming in. They've pretty much been the same across the board. I mean, but I'm used to the joystick now. I'm just starting fanning on with it, no bother.
Yeah, I'm starting to get the hang of it now, you know, but it's weird because you don't have the same standard options. And just like right now, you know, just moving off to the side, it's cycling through the memory settings. It's not telling you it is. But it's quite obvious that that's what it's doing.
It's an odd one.
Perhaps it needs a firmware update. But where are you going to get the firmware now that Vsticking's website's gone?
Let's have a look. Hang on.
Do I download the SX530 software from YIHI?
Hang on. You got to type in SX Mini. Hang on. Yes, I'm official age.
I have the SXIQ drivers and software on my computer from a long time ago.
Come on.
But I do not see the 530 on YIHI software website.
Let's have a look.
We have the 475, the 550J, the 450J. There's the 350J. And there's a 350J V2. And there's a 350. But there is no 530 listed up there.
Come on, you bastard, you. God. All right, let's have a look. I don't know where that is.
Interesting. Sorry, folks, not how I thought the day was going to turn out. Bananaful is beautiful, but the Vsticking 530 is a dud. Especially if you can't download any software to upgrade the settings or anything in there.
It's on that one, like, I'm very surprised because they've normally... I've seen like a couple of posts and forums, and it seems to be a general issue with it. There's a lot of people putting posts in, ask if anybody's got the firmware installation. So I don't know if it's just been something that's came and went.
That's what it sure looks like right now.
Yeah. A lot of people in the forums asking how to do it. Which I find very odd for YIHI. I find it very, very odd.
Well, see, that's the thing. It wasn't actually YIHI Cigar that actually sold this device. This chip was sold to this Vsticking is a Dongon Vsticking Technology Company Limited.
I mean, I've just been on the actual YIHI, like, bits of it. You know, there is a YIHI SX Mini site, but there's nothing on for that at all. Like you say, if they've sold a board to somebody to manufacture their mod with their board in, they might follow it up with their software drivers, etc.
Yeah, customized for that particular device.
Yeah.
But the base chip software should still be readily available from the manufacturer. If you buy something that DNA sells to a manufacturer,
yeah, you would have
DNA
thought.
will have on their forums, which is locked from the public, you have to verify that you purchased a DNA product, an Evolve product, and they will, you know, authorize your login credentials for the forum for you to access the software.
Bloody hell, KVS Vapes have never heard of a YIHI or the chip company. Really? Where have you been?
Most people don't know them as, you know, like this V-sticking company. They'll know them not as YIHI, but as in like the SX Mini. People recognize the SX Mini or the SX series.
Yeah, but the XX Mini series, you know, that's the flagship. You know, the J class is, you know, it's...
Yep. And unfortunately, it looks like I'm going to have to dig through some forums to try and find whatever's still available.
Something of it, but even though, like I say, it's only 2-year-old, you think it'd be something about.
I did find a 4-year-old post on here from when it first came out that the guy said that, you know, he gathered everything up and put it into a zip file and it was available for everyone. But unfortunately, the website that he linked it from no longer has it as a shared resource.
Ah, see. Bit of a bummer, isn't it?
That's the one downside of buying something and setting it aside to do as a retro vape later on. Wow, I just cannot get over this ridiculous ecto cooler.
Not the only one.
Lacto cooler.
Proper green shit.
Green ale. Ew.
Don't look very good. I don't think you'll be buying another one of them, will you?
Never. I'm gonna have a hard time justifying finishing it. But at $7 a can, I hate to see it go to waste.
Fucking true, right? Jeez, I'd eat the can as well if I paid that.
Well, boys and girls, I think it's time for us to wrap it up. We're hitting the 3-hour mark.
Again.
We got 2 beautiful recipes that we mixed up today. We found out what piece of crap I bought ways back and how lovely it works.
I wonder if that's why YIHI were a bit dubious about selling the board to third-party pair companies. Like I say, there's no backup support or nothing. I'm not so sure if they do it so much now. I think they've done it with the topside dual carbon. I think that was the last one they've done it. They want to roughly run about there. Maybe.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense because, you know, once they sell those chips, they're not going to dedicate a researcher to sit there and actually, or a programmer to go in and keep the firmware updated and all that other stuff.
It's probably that's why they don't do it so much now, but never. Yeah. Which is probably a budget board, you know, to a cheap company who, you know, unfortunately. Jim.
What's surprising though is you know, Mike Vapes did a review on this thing and really loved it.
Let's see, maybe that'd be an idea, you know, check out a review, see how they go through the menu and see how they get there, you know what I mean? That's a possibility. It just might be a case of getting it set up right when when you find out how to set it up right, I suppose.
It vapes great. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just, it's odd, having to use that ridiculous joystick on the bottom, considering everything else is such simplified nowadays for us.
I've always had that. I mean, like you say, this is a G Class 2 and it's still there, the joystick, it's just part and parcel of them. The SX Mini.
It's part of the board. It's like the DNA board. Yeah. Having the buttons on the bottom, that's a standard DNA setup. And, you got to remember that the center button is the enter button. That's what the problem was I had a couple weeks back. I was taking the reading and I'm like, I'm pushing the fire button to lock it in and it's like, DNA. No. You hit the enter button. The middle button's the enter button.
Yeah. It's easily done. It's easily done.
But it is what it is.
Yeah.
That wraps up our playtime for today. Next week, we'll have another retro vape to dig through. A bunch of new random recipes to try.
Woohoo! Woohoo! Sorry, guys. Newcastle have just scored. Woohoo!
And we'll have to wait on this Gushers until next week as well.
Oh my God, did you have something else there, did you?
Yeah, that was the Gushers we mixed up last week. I've been letting it sit there to ripen.
I'm with you.
But that apricot, as soon as the show's over, I got to mix up a bottle for my wife. She loves it that much. It's become her new all-day thing.
Going to have a look at that one.
All right, so my wish as always, folks, peace, love, and a hunky vape to end cigarette combustion. We'll see you guys next week. Same time, same place.
Hey, guys. Thank you, all you guys in chat, for popping in and saying hello. You guys make these shows. We do this stuff for you. Well, for us and now. Like, we do get a kick out of it now. But anyway... Thanks again, boys and girls. It's been an absolute pleasure. Again, thanks, Alex, for I don't know how he's putting up with me. I don't know how it's gone this long with us, but we're still going. Yeah, tune in same time, same place next week. Until then, stay safe, vape safe, and we'll see you all soon. Cheers now. Bye.
Bye-bye.